Hey YouTube, how is it going? I hope all is well. Thank you guys for coming in nice and early. Thank you, Mr. Wiggy Diggy, for hanging out with me during your class, although you should be paying attention, I imagine. Jay, good to see you again, man. I saw your thing this morning and I was just like, oh, let's see what he's up to. So it was cool, man. Good to see you doing your thing. And I had to pop in and out. I was at work, so you know, when things happen, I gotta jam. But I've been a busy boy, so I haven't had much of a chance to really put together a really good lesson plan. What I did do is kind of do a soft fit of everything in the back here. So pretty much everything is everything is installed in the back here. So this is essentially how it will look when it's put together inside of the amp there. So I think it looks pretty good, but it is an awful tight fit down in there. As you may be able to see, there's a lot going on in this, especially in this area right here. I have a problem though, and it's not going to be an easy one to come to a solution for. So the ground that comes out of here, which you can't really see the spade connector, but the ground that comes out of there needs to go to a point that's on the amp that's relatively close to this, you know, input right here. The downer is that the shield plate that I have fits pretty much right there. So there's not a whole lot of space to play with back there. You can kind of see it's going to fit like right in there. It looks kind of red on the screen, doesn't it? So I can put the ground lug anywhere in there. I don't want to put it on this. So as much as it would make sense to put it on this guy here, I kind of need it to not be on that. But there's more to it than just that even. While that shield does need to be grounded to the chassis, which is something else I'm going to have to figure out, another large part of my problem is where am I going to put a ground wire when I need to run wires from this guy perhaps down the side as well. So there's a couple different ways that this could work out here. I could run it out that way and down along the side there. And then I've got to get a connector from here, that guy, the voltage selector that goes over to there somehow. Which means putting a ground lug down in there isn't going to make much sense. So the only other logical solution is to put it like right down in here somewhere, which I'm okay with. The other challenge is that this ground lug needs to be such that it is one of the last things to break. So if this PEM or PEM module were to get yanked out of the amp for whatever reason, it should never, but let's just say it does, I need to make it so that the hot wire that goes to the fuse would break first. I also need to make it so that the potential for the neutral wire, which doesn't go to the fuse, the neutral would actually go down below to the, well, no, the neutral goes straight from here all the way up to there. And that's not true even, because the neutral needs to go to this still too. Darn it. This voltage selector is really throwing a kink in my chain. And because it's so damn frustrating, I need some help. So with that thought in mind, hold on just a second while I ingest some Tylenol. So you can kind of see there's a little bit of a challenge. Another one of the things that is a challenge is I do need to have a grounding point over here. And I'm still in debates on where I want to put the grounding point in here. So I need to add at least 3 grounding points. There's the ground for the safety ground. There's the one up there for the input side of the amp. And then there's one that is for the remainder of the amp, center taps and stuff like that. Now, objectively, the one for the center taps could exist somewhere in here. No big deal. Just to give you an idea where I put that little turd at. It's over here. My apologies. So this guy will land kind of like right in here somewhere. But I want the heater wires to come down the middle here. So I'm trying to just give you guys an idea of what the hell's going on in this thing and why some of these decisions have to get made. So the heater wires will come up out of here. So it'll come just like you see this transformer right here. The center taps will go to somewhere in here. The secondaries are literally going to go right underneath the fuse holder there. And then these big old wad of green wires are going to shoot up the middle there. Can you use a ground bar? Not for, well, you can for some of the other stuff, but we're going to basically use the chassis as the ground bar or ground bus. Now, there's a reason that we're putting the different ground points. One of them is non-negotiable. For code to exist properly within this amp, the input mains has to have a ground. It doesn't necessarily need to be right next to the thing, but it's as close as practical as what they say in the books or whatever. Now, what is as close as practical is up for debate, but 9 out of 10 of them have it within about a 2 to 3 inch radius of wherever the entry is. Makes sense to me. So objectively, objectively, you want to get it somewhere near. Now, it can go on the back panel and it can go on the side panel even. It just has to be its own dedicated ground. The downside to putting it on the side is I think it'll look a little weird. And I don't really like having to use countersunk screws to do it. It's one of those things where I really like it to be like firmly bolted to the chassis. The part that I'm hemming and hawing about, the part that's kind of aggravating me just a little bit, is all these wires that come out of here. I have a choice. I can shoot them straight down. Sorry, I'm going to move that out of the way. I can run them straight down and get them this direction, right? So they'll come from the thing just like that, and everything will kind of work itself out in that direction, right? So it'll kind of work something like this almost, right? But this guy here has to go from here and connect down there. Now, there is enough room underneath the, here, let's get this thing out of the way so you can see what's going on down there. There is enough room underneath here, which this is my little bus that's going to hold the line and the thermistor. So this thing will go down there and fit. That's not the problem. But it's going to be a bitch to make any kind of connections down there. And then that also means that running any wires along there is going to be pretty much an impossibility. Now, the other thought I had was to take this and kind of run it through here. See, it's going to be a tight one. It's just going to be tight no matter how I cut it. But through here, and then up and over this guy. Now you can kind of see why I'm not exactly stoked about some of my decisions. But basically, you go here with it, right? Makes sense? This is an accessible spot, yada, 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 but it would sit on top of all of this here. So this has to shoot up through that hole, right? It's going to shoot up through the hole there, and then it's got to bend out and go wherever it needs to go, which means this thing is just going to end up raised up off the board a little bit, or off the thing a little bit. Again, not a huge problem, except for I have a thermistor that's going in there. Now, the thermistor will be cut shorter. It'll be cut shorter than what you see here. So it'll fit more like where my finger's at currently. But that thing produces a fair amount of heat. Not a lot, but a fair amount of heat. It's enough that you probably wouldn't want to put your finger on it, right? So running any kind of wires right there next to it is kind of also not a great freaking idea. So you can kind of see all the conundrums I have. I have to make a decision though. So upper left corner. So there is an option there too. I could run things along the top here. So instead of going down, I could go up and over. But that means I'm going to have to remake this. This was kind of a test piece anyway. It was just, I made it long enough that I know I could use the wire for some sort of another project or something like that. But these do have to go something like this. And yes, they could go on top of the PEM, right? So they could do that. Although I don't really want to run my hot stuff like that. I like getting things tucked down to the chassis. Objectively, that's the better way to do it. But you can kind of see now everything's going to have to go into this thing and be built kind of in a modular fashion. Everything's going to have an order in which it's got to go in, which is kind of a bummer, but it is what it is. But you can see everything fit all kind of nice up in there. So super stoked about how it turned out, at least in that regard. So I think what I'm going to do for now, I guess the two big decisions I really have to make to kind of just get the ball rolling is I got to get the power thing figured out. And when I mean the power thing, I got to get this little guy here built. I got to get the power entry module ready so it can go in. and I have to get the wires ran at least to the excuse me, the voltage selector and up to the switch. So that's my goal for today. Ooh, excuse me, goodness, is to figure out where I'm going to put the ground, get the wires made that are going to go to all this, so that at least the power side of things can get dialed in tonight. This is not going to be a short ride, everybody. I suspect we're going to be here probably until at least 8 o'clock. That's another 3 hours, so this is going to take some work, unfortunately. And we got to drill at least, I don't have to drill that hole. I'm not super worried about that one. I have enough space up in the front end there that if I have to drill that hole later and I have the transformers in it already, it's not that big of a deal. But the ones that I do have to get dialed in is the one for the safety ground. That one does have to get done. Something else that you probably haven't been able to really see yet until maybe this very moment in time. I did get some different connectors there for the, I'm gonna try not to bop all the cameras here. And I'm yeah, it's sucky. All right, my apologies. All right, those guys down there, see them? So you may recall the last time you saw them that it was just a pin that you would solder to. These ones are the spade connector style. There's a downside to that. The spade connectors do take up space, and you can see it's pretty tight down in there. Now, these will get pulled back by a 1/16 of an inch. So these ones here, I kind of have the luxury of the faceplate eating up some of that distance. So those ones will go back another 1/16 of an inch or so. It just, of course, turns out that everything wants to just get in line with itself. So it's pretty much right in freaking line with the turret board there. Not the end of the world. I did get the right angle spade connectors for that size of thing. I did not have those in stock, so guess what? I ordered yet another damn thing. I have spent $800 in the last, don't tell the wife, okay? I have spent about $800 in the last 30 some odd days or so buying all the different little parts for this amp, right? So we're talking those little connectors, this thing here, all the little stuff, right? Not necessarily a bad thing. Some of this stuff I will need obviously for other builds and stuff like that in the future, but so the full cost of that isn't, invested into this, but not a cheap venture to get started. It's one of those things, it's like any kind of business where initially it's a pretty, steep cost of entry, I guess you could say. But once you kind of get the parts all sorted out, then it's cheaper then, because you already have 10 of the same part now, right? So if I could get that, thank you. Once you got 10 of the same part, now you can build the same amp, 4 or 5 times or more. And you don't have to worry about it as much, really. Of course. All right. So now what I'm going to do is make it so that I don't have things to worry about. So we're going to just unload this amp a little bit. We got to see now that it will function with everything in it. It's just a little bit tighter than we perhaps would like. Now, if you, startup costs, it doesn't have to be expensive. So, I've been advocating for people to get into building these as kits and stuff like that. Buy the kits. Now, the kits aren't necessarily going to be ultimately cheaper than just buying the amp itself. If you could find the same amp for, say, $1,500 or $2,000, by the time you factor in the time and all the other little hidden costs, because that's the thing they don't really load you up with, is all the hidden costs. It might be $1,500 for the kit. Lord knows what the shipping is. It's probably going to be at least another $50 to $75 for shipping. But then you got to get the cabinetry, right? Well, maybe you're lucky and you're a good cabinet maker or something like that, but there's still a cost involved with that. It's just one of those things, like, there's just no two ways about it. Like, you're gonna spend money. So yeah, you might save some money on the initial, get it and make it, look just like this. It's just an empty shell or something like that. But once you start actually trying to build these things, it changes the game a little bit. It's cheaper, honestly, to build this 1 amp, right? And come up with any idea I want. Where it gets spendy is when you don't have half the shit that you need. And you have to buy it in one way or another. And it's just cheaper to buy it in bulk. So when I buy these things, I buy them, you know, in like things of 50. I only need 2 screws, but I bought 100 of them, right? Why? Because I could buy 100 screws for $12, or just go down to whatchamacallit and buy the screws that I need for $12. It's that kind of thing. This is one of those, I feel like, hobbies, though. It's kind of like RC cars. Has anybody ever been into RC cars? Riley, what's going on, dude? I used to race RC cars when I was a kid. Or younger, I should say. I was a kid. I was still in high school and all that jazz. But I used to race RC cars. Great hobby. Just really expensive. It's literally like a hole in the tarmac that you just dump all your money into, because you wouldn't think that racing RC cars would be that expensive. But it is. And if you've ever raced them, you'd understand. And then you get older, and then you realize, boy, that was a lot of money to spend to do pretty much dick all with. It's a nice little hobby. It's a nice little hobby. Then you sell it all to some other kid for 1/10 of what you paid for it. And then he gets the bug, and he spends all of his allowance money and shit, and the process just repeats and stuff like that. And then you get older and you do it again. I actually really I love doing it. It was a lot of fun, but there did become a point where I was just like, God dang, I'm going to work every day to afford my weekend hobby. And I'm just a kid. All right. My apologies. My freaking nose is pissed off right now. I don't know what's been going around. I think I had like an infection or something last week. The last time I talked to you guys, there was I don't know. My neck was pissed off. My neck's pissed off now and everything. It's just, yeah, you never know. Okay. So one of the things I know I need to build is this guy here. So I need to come up with some sort of starting point for it, I guess. So I'm going to kind of start getting on that. And so let's see here. My apologies. I need to come up with a distance to cut these things. I'm just going to kind of cut it right there for now. Oh my gosh. Did I get blood on my hand? My nose is that pissed off? Sorry, guys. Why don't you guys tell me this stuff, huh? You're supposed to help a brother out here. Aye. We have solutions for this stuff. Sorry. That is how pissed off my sinuses are. How's that? It's not a nosebleed, but my sinuses are definitely pissed off. All right. Anyway. I'll try to leave that out of the mix. All right. Anyway, real time. That's what we get. All right. I did cut that. So that's good, at least. I'm probably going to have to cut this a few more times. Let's see here. I want it to be pretty short, but I don't know how short I really want it to be. Oh, Afna. Yeah. That's some serious stuff right there, man. I'm just going to cut that there. And then I'm going to cut it here. I had a gas powered, like F1 car. I never raced that one. I got it just for the S's and the G's, but that thing was a fun little beast. But some of those 5th scale cars, man, those are something else. See, I kind of want it to be like right in there, so it kind of aligns with that hole. So for the heaters, I'm using 22 gauge. And I know that kind of sounds scary, but it's really not all that scary, to be honest. Let's see here. I want that to be like right there. So I'm going to go like here. I'm going to cut it there. I'm just going to cut it. And I think we'll try to reuse those pieces. Maybe. Did cut that one a little bit longer than the other. It doesn't freaking matter. But I did cut it a little longer, so we're going to give it just a little nip. I'm using 22 gauge. Now the 22 gauge wire is rated for like 4 amps or something like that. Something like that. At least at the voltage that they're running at. But I am splitting it right here. Right? So the heaters from the power transformer, I think I got 9 amps worth of heater current available at that. Yeah, all the allowance money. So it's going to go into here and it's going to split at this point here. Now each EL84 pulls about 1.5 amps worth of current. Well, that means there's only 1.5 amps of current going on this direction. And all of these wires here, all of these tubes combined add up to about 1.5 amps of current. So from here, it's going to split out and it'll have 1.5 amps that way, and it'll split out with 1.5 amps that way. So I've got like a 3x amount of like safety in it. It's not ideal. Realistically, you should probably go with 20 gauge or 18 gauge here. I think it's a little extreme. 18 gauge is definitely way too much for the heaters, I think. In any case, maybe in a 100 watt amp, if you're stringing all 4 of them together, you might want to use 18 gauge. But for the preamp tubes, you can almost always get away with the 22 gauge. And since I'm splitting it here, I am going to go with 22 gauge for that other tube. Now, if I were running like say 4 of these EL34s, I would not go with 22 gauge. I would go with 18 gauge, as I mentioned. So those are the things to keep in mind. Currents and all that stuff still do exist. That is a real thing. What do I want? I want this. So what I'm going to do is get this guy out now so we can start playing with it. Yeah, I think I'm going to get another infection. I hate to say it, but I think I feel the same feeling I had last week starting all over again. Yay! I will deal. We will make it through this. We shall. We shall. Alright, so there's that guy. I'm going to pull these things out for now. Bunch of freaking washers flying everywhere. Alright, so what I want to do is make sure we don't lose any of these things either, though. So I am going to put them together. So this piece here, these that little bit that you just saw there that I was duffing with, or fudging with, that is never meant to come out of the amp ever again. It is going to be countersunk into the back of the amp, so it will go behind the faceplate. But the objective is that you never get to take that thing back out again. So hopefully, if I do everything right, hopefully when I put this thing in there, it is going to stay in there for the remainder of this amp's life. Hence why it's made out of stainless steel. So this guy, we will put in like so. And I will solder that in. And then on the bottom, I need to join these outer legs together. So I'll probably use this and bend it into a little U shape. So that way I can join those together. And then I have to make a decision if I want to come out the back side with the wire. So I will use this wire here. This is, I believe it's 18 gauge. Yeah, it's 18. I'm not crazy, right? Yeah, it's 18 gauge. So the 18 gauge will come out of the back or the front. I have to make that decision. If I go out the front, I think it would look nicer because it would just kind of poke out. And then I can use heat shrink to cover the things, to cover the little turrets. If I go in the back, there's kind of no point in even having these outer ones because I can just go into the back of the turret with the wire solder it all together and be done. But I don't want to do that because this thing, I kind of want it to be semi-modular. So I think what I'm going to do is I will solder that in place. I'll make the jumpers on the back, but I kind of want to come out the back side. I want all the connections to go out the back. Now this is one part that would go, well, so this is the connector I'm going to use for the hot side of things. So I need to find the length that I would want to cut this, because this is the connector that will go to this one here. All right, so these guys go together like so, click. So this is the mains, right? You got the neutral and the hot there. Black is the hot, white is the neutral. This guy here goes into that connector, or the switch right here. That is the thing. So this is what feeds into that. But I have to go from the thermistor first, then into the voltage selector. Actually, kind of the other way around. It's actually, I said that incorrectly. So I got to go from the PEM to the fuse to the switch. From the switch back into the voltage selector. The voltage selector will then go out and distribute from there. But I have to make it so both the neutral and the line come back to here. Freaking goofy ass stuff. It's a lot of talking and not a whole lot of doing right now. I apologize, but I'm just trying to kind of explain to you the thought process of what's going on here. So I guess the easy thing to do right now is to get this guy dialed in. So I have to make some decisions and come up with some... I got to make a decision. I guess is all I'm really trying to say. If I want this to come back up to here, where do I want this to go? First and foremost, I want to know where the ground connection is going to go. So I'm going to put this aside for a second. I'm going to kind of clean up my area. And I'm going to look at this and stare at it and decide where I'm going to put the ground connection. There's a large part of me that would love to run the wires in. And if you didn't already notice it before, the reason why would be pretty self-evident. If those are going to be there and I run the wires underneath, right, they'll almost hide themselves. Oh, dang. That's a bummer, dude. So yeah, that is one of the beautiful things of being able to go into the amp and then over this way with these leads over here that I was talking about, these guys here. So that's one of the reasons why I keep fighting myself on that, because otherwise I got to go this way. But if I go out this way, I can't get all the way from here to here. It's got to have a connection somewhere in the middle. And to me, it only makes sense to have the connector kind of make it so it works right in over here. Because this wire here will get me to about this point right here, if I'm not mistaken. But it'll look really nice and clean because you won't see the bolt. So there's a bolt there. There's one underneath this guy. You won't see the bolt. You won't see the wires because they'll pretty much just come out and then shoot straight to the edge. They'll come down to about here, and then we can connect them there. And then more or less this guy will help kind of keep the wires contained. So I think that just answered my question. That's the way we're going to do it, which means we are probably going to have to redo this connector to make it long enough to get over into here. And I don't care really where it goes over here, but it's going to go over there. I think that's what I'm going to do. So we are going to remake this. Not the end of the world. Not that big a deal. But then that means that the ground wire has to go over in here somewhere. And it would make sense if I did it kind of like right here, I think. Like kind of in between these two things. And just right up to the back side of the chassis. I'm only going to be using a little bolt like that. So that's 6/32. It's not that incidental. We got plenty of space on the end there to put that. So if this goes there, this would go kind of like somewhere in the middle of that space there, more or less. That's the idea behind it anyway. Right? Makes sense? from the hive. I know, it's so bad. It's not fair, Lone Dog. But you're here now. That's the important part. And it would actually end up being like right in there. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So what I'm going to do is make a mark on the edge of the chassis here to indicate where the edge is at, so I do not breach that area there. We do not want to breach that. That is our no-go zone. And I want to put, I think I just put the damn pen away, didn't I? Yes, I did. So this one here you can kind of eyeball, but obviously we're looking at it and it would be like right in here. And that would be pretty close. So hole-wise would go like right there. So you can't really see the little dot, but that little dot right there is where it would go. So this little guy would go literally right, boop, there. Something like that. Anyway, let's just double check and make sure I'm not going to go insane with that decision. I'm going to have a bunch of stuff going out that way. The little, let me get the thing that I'm talking about. I believe it is on the top here. And it is. So these are what I use for the little ground lugs. If I could get it to play with me here. There it is. So I use these little guys here, right? The little tangs or whatever the hell they call them. So these fit a nice little 632, like a glove. Actually, you almost got to thread them in usually. But, all right. So that'll go like that down there. So it'll stick in a little bit, which isn't such a bad thing because that means that wires can be kind of hugged up against it. And you can almost use it to basically hold wires kind of in place. All right, so that'll go get kind of there like that. And then where to put it? The pin will fit in there like so. And then this wire, it's a right angle wire, but what I'll probably do is I'll go that way with it. So it'll go right angle and then it'll shoot down, around, and then in, right? It'll come out and around that way and then go in like that. So the idea is to make the green wire about as long as we can possibly make it so that if this thing gets pulled out, it still has length, it still has length, it still has length. But by now, it's already starting to tug on one of these two and hopefully pulling out for the hot and or neutral. Or both, preferably both. Just saying, that's the idea, that's the plan. All right, so that's what we're gonna do. It's a decision that has to be made, and I'm just gonna make that decision. So that is gonna go right freaking. I think we can do better. Hold on. I want it to go right. I'm just eyeballing it this time. I'm not going to bust out the measuring device. Although, I kind of want to know how freaking close are we really? Is it a nice round number? No. See, it kind of lands between the two. I don't know. Whatever. That's where it's going to go. I don't give a fuck. That's where it's going to go. This is me. Making a decision that's permanent. No ifs, ands, or buts now. That is where the hole has to go. Now I gotta get a drill out. Burp. It's a real show now. Ha ha! Didn't think you were gonna get one of those, did you? Yeah, you did. You knew you were. You knew you were. It was coming. Whether you wanted it to or not. Sorry, ladies. That is pretty dang close there to the edge. Probably didn't want to go quite that close to the edge, but whatever. All right. As I recall, we can go up to 1/8 of an inch, and that will fit. I don't think we have many more of these. Yeah, 1/8 of an inch is our next size up. Spent. All right. It's a little bit closer to the edge than I probably realistically want it, but it will work. I got one more hole size to go though. I believe it is the 5/32. I don't think I sized these ones up yet, is what it is. No, I did. So it is not a 5/32 then. It must be the 9/64 then that I need to go with. And the 9/64 should be still a little bit. It is 9/64. Click. All right, let's go. Okay. And fun times, we get to bust out with Mr. Deburring tool. It's going to be fun. Very fun getting down in on the bottom because it's right next to the wall of the freaking thing. So let me do that and try not to scratch the hell out of my wall here. I think I managed somehow. I did somehow. All right. That is good. Good. It's good. All right. Got that. Let's get this guy put away. Get this guy put away. Sorry, you can't really see everything off camera here. How cool I am when I pull my bits out. But I'm pretty freaking cool when I pull my bits out. Yeah, Ryobi. Look, you gotta pick a color, all right? You get orange for rigid, you get red for Milwaukee, you get green for Ryobi, you get blue for Cobalt, you get white if you get that shit that comes from freaking Walmart. You get red and black, or basically Milwaukee colors if you go with Bauer. And yeah, you just gotta pick one. For me, I don't do Milwaukee grade of amount of work, I should say, right? So like I am not working so much with this stuff that I can justify spending the extra cashola on the Milwaukee. Now, if I were building 10 of these things a day and making the kind of money I would like to make making these things, hell yeah, I'd be freaking busting out some freaking Milwaukee tools all damn day. But unfortunately, I do not yet. Only you guys can make that happen. So okay, pray to God I didn't furk this up. That is pretty damn close there. I think that's the size I want to go with. I am going to bust out with a pick over here and clear away some plastique. Come on. Come on. There we are. I am a big fan of the, buy once, cry once mentality. There's nothing worse than buying the same tool 4 times because you should have just bought the $100 version of that tool. But at the same time, the reality of it is, in most cases, most people don't need the highest end of tools. So that's where, I did very good. All right, except for the washer's a little bit bigger. It's still gonna work though. All right. Sorry, I know this is a little bit odd of a shot here. Okay, let's see here. I need Probably this will work for what we're about to do. Please forgive me, for I know not what I do. It is Easter coming up here pretty quick. Speaking of religious, you know, I'm not using that. Fuck that. We're gonna bust out the real tool. The tool. Alright. The tool. And of course it's gonna try to spin. I have not had much luck finding the thing I need to fit. That is, it's a 5/16, right? But you need like a freaking super duper thin wall freaking tool to get in there proper like. And I don't have the room to make even the tools that I do have work. It's just one of those things where you're fooked either way. Like, there's just nothing you can do to freaking win. So what you end up having to do is just get it snugged up. And then get that thing kind of in its spot. And pray to God that you don't move it. I like to move it. And that's its favorite song, is that freaking, I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. That's, I shit you not, that's what these freaking things do. You look at them funny and they're like, you can't not move them. Sorry, I'm gonna earworm you after I earworm myself. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it. Can you tell what era I am from? And I'm tight. Am I still tight, or can I go tighter? Ooh, yeah, we got a little more out of that. See if I can get one more little out of it. I want some more ooga doogers. Just a couple more ooga doogas. Without twisting it. It's still kind of twisted it. Although it is so dang close, I'm not going to furk with it. Alright. Where are we at? Oh, and DeWalt. I'm sorry. I forgot about the yellow. I forgot about the yellow DeWalt's. I don't know. I have a mixed feeling about DeWalt, to be honest. Okay, so that's where that's going to go. How am I going to do the rest of this shiza here? Alright, how do I want to do this? Alright, let's get the iron on. Let's get this on a freaking thing so I don't burn my thing over here. Sorry, I'm going to move the chassis for a second. There. And this is the direction we're going to do this. And we're going to use this to freaking prop it. Prop it up. Whoop, woo. And I'm going to need a bit more heat, I think, than that. Burp. Excusey. Sorry, Miss Maya, if you're watching. You're watching a man's channel. We burp and fart over here. I don't think you guys have quite caught me doing that yet. Just saying. I am going to go with a bit more heat. I don't want to futz with it. I want it to get in there and suck up. And you melt. Right now I just kind of want to get it held on one side. There it is. That's probably enough to hold it for now. Only just. Didn't really do what I was hoping, but yeah, I did not actually. Let's just get it up in there. Hold on. We can do this. And did you want to take solder, please? There it goes. Okay. So we just got some straightening up to do. I'm going to let that cool down just a little bit, and then I'll kind of redo it there, make it all nice and pretty like. So we'll get it so it's nice and straight, kind of like that. I think that's nice and straight anyway. Almost. So close. So that's nice and straight like. So now that we got that one kind of done up, we can get the other side done. It makes it a lot easier. Once you get the one side done, it's like, oh, okay. It's much, much easier. Bada bing, bada boom. We're just looking for a nice, see if I can get that in the shot there. See how you got a nice solder blob on there? It's not quite as shiny as I'd like it, but we can go in there and get it cleaned up a little bit. So the one side was shiny, and that's because we got the right amount of heat and temperature and whatnot in there. The other side was not because it was probably a little too hot. But now I need to even it out, level it out. So one side's a little bit far up right now. There we are. Oop. Yeah, bueno. Yeah. See where I'm going? I think I want it to... It's kind of tough to say exactly because the legs kind of do that sort of... they're doing like some weird little number to get it so it's straight. See what's going on there, kind of? So the legs are kind of doing that thing to make it so it goes straight. But so it's really difficult to make it look like it's actually straight. It's as crooked as a... Sorry, I'm not going to go there. Boop. Boop. Ah. Alright, and then bloop. It still seems like it's canted. So I'm going to just give it another little press down over here. I'm just never going to get where I want to go with it, I guess. That's better. We're going to leave it like that. That's fine for now. It's looking pretty squared up. Alright. So now the other thing I got to do is jump the bottom. Now, if I use this thick ass stuff here, I don't know that I'll have enough room for the other wire. No, I will. It'll be enough. So the thing with this one is I gotta bend it, and then I gotta bend it again, but I want to bend it just right. So let's see if I can do this. We're gonna go right there. We're doing it the hard way, so I want to try to get out there, methinks. So let me see here. Is that gonna work? That will work. So, bloop. Okay, and then that one's square. This one I overbent a little bit, so that's easy enough to fix. All right, and if I did everything right, there we go. See how it just fits in there nice like? Bloop. All right, so now I only got to do that one more time. I believe this piece here is a little bit longer, if I'm not mistaken. I overbent it again, but whatever. Alright, so we're going to set it in there. This time I'm going to try to grab it from the outside to get it in. And if you wouldn't mind, thank you. That will function. I need to go just a little bit tighter. Like that. Yes. That one seems like it's a little bit shorter. I don't know. I don't know. It will fit. It functions. There it is. Click. Ta-da. All right. Makes sense. So now what I want to do is solder the inside ones. I want to wait on the outside ones until I get the wire. We need our wire. This is the most fun you can possibly ever have. All right. So I kind of want this thing to hold upright, but I don't really have a thing. It's one thing I haven't gotten was like the helping hands thing. Like it would be great to just set it right here, but I don't know that I'm going to get away with that. I'm certainly going to give it a shot though. I'm going to use that tool. I have that tool. I'm going to use that tool. All right. Don't you wish every component was the same? Yeah, right? It would be freaking amazeballs if it were. All right, so now we're going to do this freaking number here. We're going to make that mess. Remember that mess we made the last time with this shit? There's that one. Come on. Grab my sides there. There it is. All right. Now what we can do is use this tool to help kind of align things. And that did kind of jump up a little bit out of there. I don't like that, but ta-da. And then this side here, same. Fuck you. Get over here. This thing is finally, I think, getting worn out. It's finally worn out. I've only had that thing for at least 10 or 15 years, if not longer, to be honest. I want you to give me a nice, clean little blob. Bloop. That's a pretty clean little blob there. Okay. Yeah. Right? And we'll clean that flux off here in a moment. Doesn't look like we have any problems on the other side here, so that's looking good. All right. I'll just let that hang there for a minute. Now, this is going to have black in and black out. Now, technically speaking, it should be one of these, right? So it'll go into this here. But I got to decide on what length I need to make that. That is one of my other challenges. I don't really know how long I want to make it. Are you cool yet? Yeah, I'm not burning myself. All right, let's see here. Let's get the chassis back over. Make some more weird decisions. I'm going to turn off the soldering iron for a moment because this is going to take a few minutes. I have to make a decision. I don't know what I want it to be. I don't know what I want it to be. So where do I want this connector to land? That is the question. So that is what I'm trying to figure out. So that thing will connect into the back side of it, right? So it'll loop around like so. So I got to figure out if I want to go off the front edge, which at this point might be probably the ideal way to do it. But it'll be ugly because now I got the PEM unit that goes over the top of it. So I'm going to just set this here kind of where it would go. All right. So this will be in here like that. And you can see on either side of the PEM unit that the wire would come out. All right. So the hope is that this would come out kind of like that and connect somewhere over in here. But then that means this connector is going to be really freaking short. So one of those stupid things you just got to kind of make a decision on. And I don't know what decision I want to make yet. I haven't decided. I really want to come out the back. I just know my life. I just know it would look better if it comes out the back. And then what I would do, I don't know if I'd leave those open or not. It would be kind of nice to leave them open. The only thing that's a little scary about leaving all these open is that's technically 120 volts sitting on it. So if you did get your grimy ass fingers in there. Oh, no worries, dude. No worries, dude. Thank you. Right, so it's not going to matter. On the back side, I will put some Captain tape. I do have some of that sitting around, and it's just to kind of help. I don't know. They probably don't really need the Captain tape, to be honest. But I don't want to go out the front. I just know that much. So where do I want to go then? I got to come up with a freaking plan of some sort. Part of me thinks that if I just come out, and I can't go that way. Here's the reason I can't go that way. Because this white one is going to continue on. The white one doesn't get cut. The white one goes all the way up to the front. Right? So it's going to kind of end up being probably just down here like this. So the one connection will come all the way and get over into here. I think that's what we're going to do. All right, so this connection, the one that we were talking about, the one I was hemming and hawing, I want it to be over in here. So I'm going to get it like right there. But this one, I'm going to get so it lands somewhere underneath in this vicinity here. I want it to be away from this ground, but I want it so it will fit at least somewhat underneath. But then this wire here is probably going to have to go out that way and then loop back around. So this is why I got the, I don't know if you noticed, but this is like the silicone wire. This is some pretty good silicone wire. I'm actually pretty impressed with it. It's not like super, I don't know what the term to use for it is. Obviously it doesn't hold like any direction or whatsoever, but it's pretty malleable. Like you can get it to do kind of whatever you want. So I think what I'm going to do is do something like this. So this will go underneath that spot there, and I'll try to stay out of your way. This will continue its path up to the front, tuck into the corner there all nice and tight like. All right. This will go that way. And I think this will land like right in here is where I want it to go. All right, so this will go like so. And then what I'll do is I'll make this kind of go out to the edge and then loop back around so it goes up into the unit. So this will have like a little loop kind of in it. That's what I'm going to try to do. It may not work. I might have to redo this fitting, but it probably won't get you through that pain. I am going to go like that. So let's see here. Make sure I'm not crazy though, because it might be helpful to just do this in order. So I need to come from this guy. So we're going to go from this lead here. So the way you're supposed to wire these fuses, there's a lot of confusion on these, and some people do it wrong. All right. So when you wire these fuses, a lot of people will put the ring, which is the outer portion of the fuse, as the hot. That is a bad thing to do. Let me explain why, since we're here. This is a teachable moment. All right. So see that ring right there? The silver around that edge? You can touch that with your fingers. You can get your fingers on that. So if you're dumb enough, and I'm not saying you are, I'm saying that there are people out there that are dumb enough that they'll leave the power plugged in. Let's say they blow the fuse, right? So you blow the fuse. So this thing no longer has connection anymore, right? So the fuse is dead. But they leave the amp plugged in. They pull this thing out. Well, if they wire the ring, which is this connector here, hot, all the angry pixies are still sitting on that thing. So if you get your grimy ass fingers in there, what are you going to do? You're going to zap yourself. And you're going to zap yourself pretty good. Jay knows all about that. He did it earlier today. It sucks. It's not horrible. It's not the end of the world. It's not life ending. But it sucks. I don't like getting shocked. And it's been a long freaking time since I've been shocked. Right? So a lot of people are like, well, but if you put the thing in on the tip, that means If you stick the fuse in, right, the fuse when it's still good, if you're dumb enough to leave the amp connected to, you know, right to the thing, and you stick the fuse in there, that is now the hot, angry piece. Bzz, you're gonna get zapped, right? Except for you're not supposed to just set the fuse in there. They make this thing for you. Interestingly enough, it holds the fuse. It's designed to have a static fit that holds the fuse, which means if you keep your fingers on the plastic part around there, you won't get shocked. Now, the beautiful thing is if it's actually a blown fuse and you touch, you know, let's say you pull it out and it happens to pull this off the back and you did leave it plugged in for whatever reason, if it is an actual blown fuse, if you grab the tip, well, there's no connectivity, so you shouldn't get shocked. Make sense? Does that make sense? That's why the tip should always be the hot. This is where you continue the connection out. But realistically, you'll unplug the amp first. Won't be a problem if you do that. I can guarantee it. So, hot, and this is what flows the remainder of the amp. So we got to get from here down to the thing there. So that's the other part of the challenge, is that I now got to go off of this, down and around into here. So that's another connection I got to make. And I need one of these to do it. So I told you this was not going to be quick, but it's going to be full of teachable moments. I guess there's a lot that we can, if you're sitting there contemplating like why things are done the way that they're done, this is one of those things that is the why it's done the way it's done. Okay, so let's go get some more silicon wire. Silicon carne wire, as it's said. I'm just going to cut a length, literally as long as my freaking finger is. Click. All right, that's a length. That wire here is going to come out, and it's going to go down and into this guy. All right. Now, the way that this is done up, though, hold on. I'm seeing something right now. Dale, what's going on, my man? Good to see you. So here's what I'm seeing that's going to be kind of cool, I think. So this is going to land like right about there, right? This is the source of the power that is going to feed this side of the thing, right? This is going to be our input side of the thermistor. So that means this guy here, if I put a little flag on it that goes out like so, right? Goes like that. Shoot that way. I know my fat freaking fingers are in the way. That means I can pop it out the side and then literally drop straight freaking down and into that thing. It'll be a tight fit, but I think it'll be a freaking amazeball fit. Hold on here. Oh yeah. So this will just shoot right down the side there and into that. So that's what I'm going to try to do. That's going to be freaking awesome. Super freaking awesome. Okay? Super freaking duper. Super duper. Click. All right. Let's see how this is going to work out here. Did I cut enough? Did I not cut enough? Oh, that's right. Dale, the amp is going to be here tomorrow, huh? Or be there tomorrow. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Are you prepared? I'm hoping... I know that you said you had the B52 available, but you still had to get speakers for it. I'm guessing that you still haven't gotten that yet, but... We'll give you a couple days grace. I'll bet. Do you have a Guitar Center near you by chance? Out of curiosity. Out of curiosity. Because if you do, I think they have a rental program, and you might be able to rent that. Not saying, just saying. I don't know. I don't know. What am I trying to do here? That's not what I wanted. No, this is the one I want. I just don't know what I want to do. How did I I freaking do this? I did it this way, is what I did. No, not that way, this way. So if I did use this to do that, is what it is. No? Yeah, maybe I did. Used one of these to do it. I can't remember. Do you remember the 21st of December? I'm just being a dick right now, so don't even bother with me on that. I'm just. Oh my freaking God. Okay, so I obviously did not remember correctly how the hell I did this. There was a path to my success on this, and I can't remember what the hell it was. There was a method to my madness, and Lord knows if I can remember what the fuck it was. So my apologies. I know that I was able to get it to do exactly what it was supposed to do, which is crimp it, and it crimped it good, real good. Crimp it real good. Dun, 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 dun. Ow! Ooh, baby, baby. I think that's what it was I did. I think I did this. Ooh, baby, baby. Yeah, that's what it was. I think I got it. I just don't got it. Can't even. Man, that ain't gonna fucking fly. God dang it! There was something I did. I know that I can do this. I have done this already. Once before. This isn't rocket surgery. I have done this. I just don't remember how I did it. So for those of you who are wondering, there's a special tool to do these, and apparently I don't have that tool. Oh, duh, I forgot. I bought another whole freaking set of tools for this. That's why it's not adding up for me. Okay. I had forgotten. My apologies. So I bought the Molex, okay? So the Molex are these things here, right? So I bought the Molex connectors. My apologies. Total brain fart right now. That was about as exciting as it freaking comes. But it's not meant for this. So that's where I was losing my shiznit, was that's not what it's meant for. And I want the 18 to 16. That is this stuff here. And I need it to go a particular direction. I just don't remember what that particular direction is. So that probably isn't going to work. And it probably wasn't going to be this way. Well, in either case, I was trying to remember how I did this. And that is how I did it. I freaking had special connectors designed to do certain special things. There, oh, see? Oh, that's how tight it was. So we fucked that one up. All right, so we know now what we're trying to do. And I think I can still use this wire, so I'm just going to use this wire again. This thing here obviously crushed it way too much. So I was on the right path. It was just not the right path. So my apologies. A little bit of a learning curve there. That's what I get for trying to put my brain in two places at the same time. Too many thoughts. Too many thoughts. But we get to learn. So, yay. Was that not embarrassing? Will do. Sounds great. I found snubber caps across preamp tubes are key. They do a thing. I'm not a huge fan of them. I think they kind of do too much, to be honest. Now, that is a me thing. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it is something that is, to me, a little disappointing. I really want to see if I can get this thing to work. This thing to work. So this goes like this. Right? But it doesn't go in there the way that I put it in there because I furked it up. Okay, let's try this again. I feel that they are too effective, I guess is what I mean. But they pretty much act like shunting a thing to ground, I guess, if you will. A signal path or something like that, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's just a thing, right? So I try not to use that method. But it does function. It is quite effective. But it is overtly effective, is what I'm saying. Overtly effective. Okay, I think that is what you're looking for. Yes. Yes. Now, if I can get this thing to fit in there. Sorry, now I'm off camera. That is where we want to be, thereabouts. Well, that did a thing, but it didn't do the thing. I need to get the right tool for this is really what needs to happen. So I apologize. This is brutal. But I don't have the right tool for this particular job I'm trying to do right now. And it is not helping, which is why this is sucking balls at the moment. So we will figure this out. Stay tuned. Well, Luke frickin' figures something out in real time. Alright, so now what we want to do is get this going in the right orientation, because this should function for me. I know that we can do this, is what I'm saying. There it is. Alright, we have some level of success now. Oh my gosh, imagine that. Okay, so this is now in there like it's supposed to be. Okay, so see how it curled? The challenge is that you get the wire that goes in, right? The wire is going up vertically. And then you got the thing, and you want it to cup around the wire and cut into it like that. That's the idea behind it, but you need the right tool to make that happen. I do not possess that proper tool. So that is why it is such a challenge for me to do that stupid little thing. So I apologize. That was brutal to watch, I am certain. But what I'm going to do to ensure that I don't have any problems is solder that. And I did that to the other ones as well, just because I do not like failure. I am harsher on myself than you are on me, believe it or not. So even though it seems like I don't give a shit, believe you me, I do. I'm sitting here kicking myself in the butt. You guys did kind of build a similar amp, huh? Mr. Tone Priest and Riley. I like those series, to be honest. It's funny that both of you kind of ended up doing the same thing at about the same time. Come on, solder in. Now this is, what do you call it? Silicon carne wire. So it doesn't melt like some of the other wire does. That's why I'm not too worried about it getting that hot. It seems to do okay. I kind of like it. I was talking about it earlier. It does what it's supposed to do. But whatever. Let's see here. So this is going to go in. So this is why you buy 100 of these freaking parts. Now you kind of understand. Is that cool enough? Yeah, that's cool enough. I should probably... Yeah, we're going to be all right. We are going to be all right. So that's going to go like that. And... Damn it, I got the freaking shmoo all over my thing. All right. So this is the part that's kind of a little freaky about this thing. You get that thing in there. We're going to pull this out. This guy will go on there like this. And then straight kind of down and into the bottom down there. But I do need to leave a little bit of room. I may need to fucking put this thing in. I don't really want to. I have a choice. I can put it so it goes down on the front. Again, we mentioned I don't really like that idea. Because it will go more or less like that. So this thing here would just kind of just jute. More or less like that. Or I can have it go down the back and into the bottom. I want it to go around the back and into the bottom. So it'll actually kind of go like this. So it'll jute down there. So I just got to come up with a freaking length. That's more or less what it is. Any kind of length will work. I just have to come up with it. I'm going to say right there. That is the length I'm going to go with. So we're just going to make it a little bit longer. I'm going to go with that long. So I'm going to make it a little bit longer than I need it to be. And there it is. Now we're going to zip this thing off on the back side here. And we're going to solder it into that there. Okay. Now, I'm going to turn my soldering iron back on. This is going to go back over to here. And I'm going to go get my other thingy. I'm all about thingies. So this is going to go like this. This is going to be my input side. It's going to go in there like this. And it's a little bit tighter than I thought it would be, which is unfortunate. So we need to make some space. So what we're going to do is push that up. We're going to push this one up. It'll go in. I'm not worried about that, but I don't try to stay sane. You got to read the comments though, man. You got to get that engagement. It's all about that engagement. There it is. So that's going to kind of go like that. And we are up to temp for the most part here. I'm going to go back up just a skirsh. Okay, we got the bottom side kind of hooked up. But that ain't, yeah, see, it broke out already. We don't want that. Son of a bitch. There, I need to hold this thing up again. Guess we're going to do it ye old-fashioned way, like so. There it is. We're using itself as its own little thing. I need it to bite. It's trying. It's getting kind of warm. That one's not ready yet, but we're going to come back to that in just a second. But you can kind of get an idea here of what's going to end up happening. Ow, still pretty freaking hot. So this will go like so, up into the thing like that, like almost literally like that. So I want to get just a little more heat in there to make sure we get the solder to freaking go where we need it to go. I think we're going to abort this particular solder though. It just makes so much of a freaking mess. As much as I like it, it is hyper messy. There it is. That is what we were looking for. Okay. So we got a good bite there. I'm not worried about that. And we got it coming off the thing. So it's basically, right? Makes sense? So, and we didn't get too much heat in there. Now we're going to have another one that's got to come off the backside of this, but we want that one to probably go down. So this one will come from the top and go like so. The other one's going to come down and out and around because that one needs to go to the switch up front. Make sense? Makes sense. I think it makes sense. There it is. That was that fart I was talking about. We're going to turn that off for a second. Because now I need to actually put this back on the desk and we're going to put the switch kind of in place here. Oh my gourd. I can't believe there's as many of you hanging around with me as there is. You guys are freaking super troopers. Now, there is no technically correct position for these things for off and on. It's a left and a right, right? It's a double pull, single throw, right? It's got one click. That's it. That's the throw. So that's single throw. And then it's a double pull, which means there's pull 1 and pull 2. Or in this case, pull 1, pull 2. However you want to do it. I do need to be mindful of how those go in. I do want them to have the angled things like this. So we're going to do more of that bullshit. But those will go in the downward position. I am going to continue to use this 18 gauge. I did all the math on it. The 18 gauge is rated for freaking like 9 amps or something like that. This amp, the fuse in it's rated for 3. If you're in the European countries, that 3 amps would actually turn into 1.5 amps. So, yeah. So we don't need a whole heck of a lot of current. But this is, I think this is the one that we need to have come back from the switch, technically. Because this is the one that's going to connect to this. So now we got to run... I got to get a black cable that comes out of that and goes around. So I need to pull some more black cable out. And we almost always go through more black cable than you do anything else. And that looks to be long enough. So I'm going to just cut that there. Now this is why I don't really like doing this kind of crap here, is you end up going 2 paths back and forth. So hey, there he is. Greetings from the Philippines. He's visiting his in-laws right now, everybody. So he's kind of yada, yada, yada. Deserve it. So now that he's here and he can possibly answer some questions and field some of that shit while I'm focusing on this. I haven't really brought it up yet, John, but, excuse me. We were doing some more research into the rules. Now, I've said it before, and I kid you freaking not. Like, I cannot kid you enough. It is almost impossible to give amps away. Like, from the forums that literally sit there and scoff at this and laugh at me like it's just some toy or something like that, to, you know, just the non-believers that literally think that Friedmans and Bogners and all that stuff with, you know, PCB mounted tube sockets are God's gift, right? So they scoff at us. So you can't give this shit away. That's what I'm getting at. But we were looking at the rules because there are rules to how we can do these giveaways, right? Well, one of those rules is that we really can't be asking you to jump through hoops. Like, you have to be able to enter the contest in some way. But to do it, it's not really even a contest. It must be a sweepstakes. A sweepstakes means, quite literally, that it is a random chance win that has no cost to enter. So there is no charge or no purchase necessary to enter. Now, based on the research I've done, the gray areas are requiring subscription to a channel. Now, the reason that it's a gray area is because we are asking of you to do something. While it is free technically to do, it is making you jump through a hoop. The thing is the giveaway is done on it's going to be done on John's channel, but the giveaway has to be done somewhere, right? And the only way that you're going to know any of the details for the giveaway is to be a subscriber to our channels, period. Like, if you want to win, you have to know when to be at the game, right? Now, it will be a random chance thing, right? We're not goofing around in that regard. It is always going to be a random chance thing. It was never not going to be. So that part I'm not too concerned about. But that is kind of the gray areas. Now, another gray area is having you guys jump through the hoop of giving us a video. Now, that is part of the entry. Now, we can ask you to send an email. We can ask you to go fill out a form. It just has to be equal opportunity. Now, in this case here, asking you to send a video is kind of pushing luck. But it's part of the entry rules. I mean, it's not like it doesn't change your outcome, is what I'm getting at, right? So whether you put in a really good video or the shittiest video known to man, it's not going to change the outcome. That's the point of that. All right. So, and that fucked up. That did not go the way I was hoping. It's going to be just easier for me to just do it by hand, I think. So does that make sense? Like, I hope that makes sense, because it should make sense. So we're not really changing the rules or adjusting anything much. It's just the verbiage has to be clarified. Okay, so now you don't necessarily have to be a subscriber to both of our channels. But if you're not a subscriber, if you're not subscribed to our channels, you're not going to know when the freaking contest is, which means you're probably not going to win, because one of the rules is, what do you got to be? Must be present to win. So that is a big deal. And that is not illegal to do, by the way. So, just saying, must be present to win is muy importante if you want to win the amp. So the only way that you can know where to win, or how to win, or when to be there to win, is to be subscribed. So there's that. Outside of that, there's really not much else to it. Like, we're not really messing around. It's pretty freaking easy to get in, to be honest. Now, the only reason for the videos is we're trying not to have a situation where I can't force you to, give me content. And I'm not necessarily trying to force you to give me content. I said you have to provide a video. I did not say that you had to post it on YouTube. So just to clarify that even more, is like, I just need something promotional. All right. So that's what we're trying to do, is create a situation where I can get some promotional content out of it. Obviously, I can't force you to do so, but golly, it would sure be nice if you would. So if you're the winner of the amp, it would sure be nice if you would, kind of play along with me on that. I don't think it's too much to ask, considering, but in staying with the rules, obviously, we're just clarifying that obviously I can't force you to do that, but I would hope that you would want to. And I kind of feel like you would, to be honest, because you're going to get something pretty cool. It is a very unique amp. It will be a very unique amp, I should say. And it will be one of a kind. There will only be one of it, because to the best of my knowledge, nobody's done this shit yet. But we will make some adjustments to the rules to kind of change the verbatim and make that a little bit clearer. But just know that there will be some changes to the verbiage. The rules in and of themselves are not changing. Because it is not illegal to ask you to send us a video. Because the video does not change the outcome of the result. It is still a random chance win. The video is the entry form. Haha! So suck on them nuts. I mean, what? That was crass. I understand that, but I just kind of want you guys to know like how challenging it is to do something that seems so freaking simple. It just, right? You know what I mean? Like, how hard can it possibly be to give a freaking amp away? Let me tell you, harder than you think. Much, much harder than you think. And I want you to suck in over there. There we go. There it is. There it is. Haha. I never thought in a million years that it would be difficult to give something away. My last, giveaway was kind of, it was a challenge. It was a challenge. The whole must be subscribed thing was more or less because I needed to be able to get in touch with you somehow. Right? Short of having you send me your details anyway. Like, how do I get in touch with you? You're flying blind into this. So being a subscriber was just a way for me to be able to reach out to you in some way. Like, I can go to your channel, leave a message, something. Like, it's something. All right, so this is good. I'm happy with this. So this is going to be the side that goes to the switch. I know this is brutal, everybody. I apologize, but this is what it's going to take to do this build. And I said I was going to do it all live, and you've seen, even still, that there are some things that I've done not live. And it's because you would literally get to watch me do a bunch of crap that you definitely don't want to watch. All right, so this is going to go kind of like this over here. So I don't know if I want to come in on the top. Well, no, that's... The send in is one thing. You probably didn't notice it, but these guys here, these ones are going to go in on... I usually put them in on the top. So these ones here, what they do is that's the out. All right, so this is the on position. So when you click it up, it turns on. This will send one that goes over to here, and then the other one that'll go to there. Okay, and then from there, that will split yet again. There's a lot going on in this thing. It's more than meets the eye. So that will split at that point there into the lighting module, which I am going to have to use this. It doesn't look pretty, but I've had nothing but good luck with these things. I'm not taxing them at all. This thing is rated for probably 3x what I need it to be. It's rated for 6 watts, right? Output is 12 volt DC, 500 milliamps at 6 watts. Whatever. We're literally running 4 inches. Yeah, about 4 inches or so of LED strip, the corncob LED strip. I mean, we're talking maybe 4 or 5 milliwatts. So those things aren't even they don't even know that they're there. So these guys here are going to go, I guess it doesn't matter which way you decide to do it, but these are going to go like so. Click. And then it's going to go out to the edge and then around. And then around, it's going to go up into this side of our thermistor. Okay? Bloop. Makes sense? So I got to make this look nice and straight like. I wish I was able to move these up just a little bit. Unfortunately, I can't tuck the wire all the way into the corner. It's kind of non-incidental, to be honest. It just means that the wire will run kind of like a half inch, no, not even half inch, but just a little bit off the edge of the chassis. But where it's a fine balance is that now I've got to get this thing to fit into the corner there and then wrap up into this guy and not be like the wrong length. So we gotta kind of set that there where we want it. That's kind of be where it's at. And we're just gonna have to pick a length. We got to go a little bit on the long side. Better long than too short. So I'm just going to cut it there. That's probably too long, but that's okay. We're going to make it work either way. All right. So I'm just going to peel a little off the back end here. I'm still kind of on the fence about using... Oh, that was the leftover. Never mind. That's right. I had more than I needed. So we'll try to reuse that piece if we can. This stuff is a pain in the ass enough to get. You're not going to work. Get this guy back. All right. So this one we want to kind of end up shooting downwards, as I recall. So we're going to put it in this direction. We still got our iron nice and hot like. And now I'm just going to try to get it in there. See what we got here. That obviously is not all the way down, but we're gonna and got a little fray sitting there. I'm gonna try to get that tucked in. That'll work. That will work. Let's get this side to melt in now. Oh, come on. You want to go in? I know you do. I know you want to give me something less to do. Okay, let's get you back in and go in this way. That actually is functional. Oh, we got all darn. All right, so we got one shooting up, one shooting down. This goes in that way so you can see that there's CLA in there. And then this will go around the chassis, etc., etc. I think we're done with that for now. Let's scrape off some of this stuff that is nice and cold. Yeah, there's just too much flux with that thick ass wire, so we're probably going to switch over to the less fluxy stuff. Now they make the no mess stuff. I've heard mixed results about it. There's no way there can be a no mess version. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if there's flux, there has to be a mess. So I think they obviously have to do something with the mixture to make it so it's not so messy. Which, what are they doing that's making it? Is it less fluxy so it does less etching of the metal? And that's the most important part, is the etching of the metal. We need it to etch the metal. Otherwise, how do you get solder to stick to multiple types of metal? That is a question mark. So I'm just postulating like the results of using, this mess-free crap. I also I mentioned it the other day, I bought some of that eutectic stuff. I will give it a shot at some point, but I don't really want to play or tempt fate at this, stage in the game. I'll test it on something else probably, but it just seems to melt at a slightly lower temperature, which is kind of something I'm not really all about. I don't know that melting at a lower temperature is necessarily a good thing. The other thing about the eutectic crap is that it's supposed to not have as long of a plastic period. So by plastic, there's a state, right, when something goes from a liquid to a solid, right? Well, in between that point where it's liquid or solid, there's the plastic area, right? So it's got this much, it's liquid, this much, it's plastic, and then this much, it's hard, right? Well, supposedly the eutectic stuff has a really small, like, plastic period. So it melts early, solidifies super quick, and then it goes hard. Now, I don't know enough about it to say with any kind of level of authority, but there are some that swear by it. Forgotten Gear Restorations, he basically states that he only uses that particular stuff. Now, a thing that I didn't think about when I was doing this here was whether or not I wanted the line on the outside or the inside. Historically, I think I've always put it here, but I've also always had this on the other side of the switch. It doesn't matter what side is which. The only thing that's really important is making sure that the orientation of the switch is correct. And to prove that to you, let's just go ahead and do that. So right now it's in the, what should be, better be, the off state. So when I touch the leads, no beepy beepy, no beepy beepy, no beepy beepy. All right. So if I click it on, I do the simplest thing ever. Up and in, down and out, right? Up and in, down and out. So up and in means that this side over here, beep, nothing here, nothing there. But if I leave this one down there on the bottom lug, beep, makes sense? So you only make that mistake once, putting the switch in upside down, okay? You only do it once, because it only works one way. But as to which side is which, it does not matter. And I don't know what the hell's on my arm, but I don't like it. So it does not matter in that regard. So this is technically done. I don't need to do anything else with it anymore. I mentioned that I was going to put some Captain tape on there, but looking at it now, there is absolutely 0 point or reason to do so. Now the question is, do I put this thing in and be done with it and never touch it again, or do I leave it alone and leave it out and finish up the rest of my stuff? I am going to do the latter. I'm going to leave it out and try to get the rest of my wires ran. All right. So this is coming back from over here and it's going to go to this guy. Okay. So this is, you'll notice that our hot little male side, and then this is our female side here, right? Even though this doesn't, this goes inside of that connector. This one's technically the innie, right? Female, the innie, and that one's got the little outie, the pokey bits. And if I'm not mistaken, that is actually incorrecto. It should go the other direction. So you want the female end of your hot to go in to your male bits. So this is backwards. So all I need to do is swap those connectors around. So I will do that right meow with my special tool. They make tools for that. I think it should be pretty freaking simple if I am not mistaken. Maybe not. I don't know. I could be completely ass backwards on that, but I don't know. I've been told. I don't know how these male ports come out, but I assume that this tool is what it's meant to do. If I have to remake it, that's fine. I'll remake it. That's not the important part, because I know I can't go around the wire off the backside. So let's try this other one. If I don't have any luck there, then I don't see what the point would be in making it so you can't get the male out, or does it just push all the way through type thing? No, can't be that. All right, so guess what? We're going to save this for something else. I'm sure something else will work for it. We're just going to make 2 new ones. So All right, so that's why we bought a butt ton of wire. All right, so we need, this is the wire I got, by the way. It seems to do all right. Looks pretty decent. So we want to go from the top side of the switch down and over, and then we want to be able to get basically into this zone right here. Do that anyway. Well, yeah, that's, so 6337 is that eutectic stuff. That was the idea behind it. So yes, you are correct. I think unilaterally, that's what they consider to be eutectic. So I'm going to assume, I'm going to leave it a little extra long. I'm going to cut it right there. So I got 50 foot each of these. That might be more than enough, might not be nearly enough. I don't know. I know that I'm going to have some colors that last me a lifetime, because I'll probably never use most of these colors. This blue and the yellow, I only use the blue because blue happens to be the European color for their hot. I wish they had brown, because brown is technically their neutral color, but yellow is the closest we had. Can't use green because green is technically the, you know, the earth or ground or whatever, but whatever. So now I got to get the connectors out and hope to God I don't furk it up again. Now I know that I can get these ones out. This one I've had luck with. So this is what I mean by that. So you stuff that thing in the hole there, and I was able to get them out the other day at least. Yeah, see, it pops right out. I'm assuming that's what's supposed to happen with the other ones too, but I didn't get that kind of, I didn't seem to get that kind of luck. I'm going to give it one more college try, because that went pretty, those ones went like a dream. There's no reasons why these other ones shouldn't, and it seems like they should. I just don't understand why they wouldn't. Ha 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 ha! All right, so it can be done. You just got to do it right, apparently. Maybe. I don't honestly know, to be honest, why it's being so stubborn for that one. But I did get the one. Maybe it's not compressing it enough. Oh, there it goes. All right, it can be done. All right, it did get done. So we'll save these new ones that I cut for something else. It'd be nice to save the connectors. I only have a certain number of them, so I don't want to waste it. So let's not furk this up again. So this is the male here. The male needs to be the one that goes to this side. The female, which was this one, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, needs to go from here over. So we're going to plug those into here, the long ones, that is. And it doesn't necessarily matter with the two pull ones, but they do make the 4 pull ones, and these 4 pull ones does put a number on them. So this is number 1 I made as black, number 2 I made as neutral, and then if you turn it over, 3 is blue, which is another hot. So I put both the hots on the 1 and the 3, and both the neutrals on the 2 and the 4. But these 2 pole ones don't have a hot and a ground per se, but I am going to make it so that because as best as I can tell, so if you're looking at this here, right, number 1 is the back side there, and number 2 is this blue one here. So if you see it, it's kind of shaped like that, the same on both of those. So I'm going to make it so that this one here is 2, which I'm going to say is the bottom one. And I did that wrong, didn't I? Because that was supposed to be the other way. I think I was going to have to make those anyway, because now that I'm thinking about it, you can't put the male and the female. So I just biffed it anyway. Oops. No, that can work. Why wouldn't it work? I think. Oh, yeah, no, I'm going to have to rebuild them anyway. So there's no point. So we'll just save these for something else. We'll make those another hot some other time. I'm realizing now, so that means I got to remake these anyways as well. So I need the long ones to have the female ends on them. So I was pipe dreaming anyway. Dirt. Hey, look, I make mistakes too, alright? I am human, after all. But, so I want to make these long ones the females. And we'll make the other ones the short ones that were cut. Oop. Which we do have the short ones technically now. Because we can cut that other length. I don't know, whatever. We'll figure that out. We're going to get there. Together, you and I, we will get there. Did I mention I'm not feeling so hot? Well, I'm only minorly tired. Minorly. But you get to watch me make mistakes. How fun is that? Alright, so that's how that guy kind of works. I need to get the tool. Now, this tool actually works really well with these when you're doing them the right way. Oop. It helps when you get the wire in there and staying in there. Darned it all to hell. Let me get the wire redid. I struggled with this the last time too, so don't. It's not like the problem is that when you're stuffing this thing in the hole, and if you wouldn't mind. Oh my god, really? It's gonna make me fucking work. So when you're stuffing it in the hole there, you can't see where the back end is to make sure that you avoid pressing the wire up against it. So it goes in there, but it doesn't go in there the way you'd like it to. So now I got it, and we're going to try this again. And this time we're not going to pull it out. Ta-da! So that is the tool I was talking about that makes your life so much freaking easier, because that got it in one fell swoop. All right? So that is the correct tool for le job. I'm going to give it one more crimp just because that did everything I was hoping it would do. All right, so this is my number one. If I'm not mistaken, this is our female side here. So I'm going to put this in on the top and click. I believe that is correct. All right, and these are rated for, I think, 9 amps as well, or something like that. Whatever the wire's rated for is what these are rated for, so pretty freaking awesome. The Molex stuff, I don't know. It seems so far to be a pretty cool option. I was not expecting it to be as trouble-free as it is currently. It does the biz. But what I should have done the first time, what seemed to help last time, was you just kind of pre-bend these things a little bit. Kind of just snug it up a little. To make sure it freaking goes in there and holds tight while you freaking stuff this thing in the hole. There it is. Click. And then you just gonna give it a little tighten up with this guy here. And everybody happy. Everybody happy. All right. Okay. I can dig it. I can dig it. And then I guess it will spin in there, but just click them in. Click. And there they will stay. So now this is our return this way. So these will go like that over there. And run along the side there next to our other one. Yada, yada, yada. Okay, so now we got to get the short one. I'm going to use this one here because I already have it. We'll save those other ones for another job some other time. So I'm going to cut a short white length, or a length that is similar to this one. I'm going to try to reuse the same amount, or I want to use the same amount if I can, just so I run out of them at the same time. This is way too long, so it's unfortunate in that regard, but tough shite. Tough shite. That is the cost of learning. So yeah, I bought a couple different things of wire. I bought basically a total of 100 feet of this kind of stuff here. They come in 50-foot boxes though, so I got 2 different boxes. And then the words right now. And then the Molex connectors. I bought 2 different sets. I bought a low voltage set, or not a low voltage. I bought the what are the words I'm looking for? I bought one of the smaller size. So there's the mini, and then there's like this other version that's like the junior. So this is the mini, and then or junior. I can't remember which one this is, to be honest. And then there's the other one that I got, which is the junior. Either case, there's 2 different types. That's all. That's all really there is to it. So I got 2 different tools. I got 2 different removers, and I got 2 different wattage ranges, I guess is what I'm trying to say. All right, so when we plug this in, we want that to go like that, which means we want this one to be down here when we go in. So this one's going to go click. There it is. All right. All right. So far they seem pretty cool. I've seen the connectors before on other amps and stuff like that, like obviously PV and all the other ones use them. The only reason that I was shooting to use it was because, if you recall, I was talking about how it's going to be nearly impossible for me to take certain parts of this amp apart once you solder it in, such as this guy here, because that only has solder, and I can only find it with solder too. What I mean by that is I could not find one of these that had like a spade connector type fitting on it that had the same ratings and all that jazz. So it was like one of those deals where if you wanted it, you only got it that way. So I got it that way. And darn it, that one didn't go quite as well as the other ones did, but it is in there. It is not coming apart. All right, so that goes there. This one will go here and go click. Yeah, that is in there. All right. And so now you see, click, I think, right? Yeah, that's in there. Like a glove. Way cool. All right. So there it is. There's your Molex connector. Ta-da. All right, so that's going to come apart. This is going to go from here. So now I got to find a length. I want it to land basically right there underneath this guy. So I think what I'm going to do is put this together so I know how much length I'm going to need. Because that will fit more or less like that. And my intention is to have it so that they come out. I know you guys can't really see that, but that won't fit like that either. It's got to go laying down. But maybe I just go right there. I want it to go kind of underneath the thing there, but so that'll come up and then in to this here like that. Does that make sense? But now we also want to make sure that this is going to fit over the top of it. So, and if you wouldn't mind, I want you on that side of everything. There we go. So that's going to go there, and this will go just kind of on top of it. Yeah, I think that'll work just dandily. All right, and then this is going to go, I want it to get tucked back as far as I can. So I'm going to cut that like here. Give it a little room. I'm going to cut it there. So we'll, I don't know if I'm going to save that piece. That piece is probably dust now. It's too short. And then I want this one to make sure that it goes, I know, my head's in the way. Right there. And then I got to kind of cut it at the same basic length. So I'm going to cut it right in there. I'm going to cut it right there. Again, just a wee bit on the long side. Okay. There's that. Now, I mentioned that I got to make these longer as well. So all these got to come out as well and get replaced with a different one. And these are all backwards anyway. So this is the female side. I guess it doesn't matter. It does. So this is the side that was supposed to come from here. I don't know how I got it backwards, but brown live and blue is neutral. Oh, is that what it is? Why does that seem wrong? Because on this, brown, blue, brown to blue, I guess. Yeah, see, if I look at it the same way, white to black, so black is the 120 volts, so you got neutral is brown, and blue is the hot. I'm not arguing with you. My understanding that blue was the freaking the banger, and brown was the neutral, but I will research that. Luckily, I can repin these as needed, but this fitting is obviously not going to function because it is backwards, because this is the female side. And we want the female side to come from the hot pixie side. So this is actually, never mind, it is right, because it's going out this way and in. So we need to make these longer, so these got to come out of this connector anyway. So I'm going to pull these out of the connector. At least I think I'm going to get them come out of that connector. It appears... Ow! You mother trucker! It got me. It got me. See that? It got me. So I pulled out the cable, and the pin snagged my finger. Mother trucker. It's not fair! Come on. I was hoping this would be a slightly easier process. This, you know, getting these things back out type deal. I guess I don't really care for them that much that I got to deal with it, but they are coming out, so we're just going to keep on keeping on. God damn. They put them in there. Get out. There it goes. Click. I'm not sure if it's just me reefing on it that gets them out of there, or if, like, there's some other trick to getting them out. It does seem like you can pop it forward a little bit. Maybe that's the kicker, is getting it to kick forward. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know, Doodly Scott. This is the first time I've ever worked with these things, okay? So don't judge me. I'm just some freaking dude. Oh, that is the trick. Okay. God damn, that's gonna smart later. Every time I go to use the damn thing. There we go. Just rub some dirt in on it. Alright, we'll save those for later. There's got to be something we can use those for. But yeah, that's gonna leave a mark. Darn. Alright, so now I need to get 4 more of those connectors. Well, I need 4 of each, to be honest. But I only need 4 of the So we're coming from here. So I actually need the female connectors. So we're going to use 4 of the female connectors. 2. Golly, how can I not grab 2 at a time? Ferk! Alright. And those are all female. So those are going to come from the hot side. Female goes this way. Alright, yay. Fucker. Alright, so we got those 2... or did we actually ended up using them, didn't we? So this one is our going to thing. We're going to put this aside. We don't need that. Those ones aren't long enough. That's our other one. So we need to cut basically 4 lengths, all the same. And I need them to be... Let's see if I can get it a little bit closer here. I want them to go from here, shoot down, and then get to about right there. So they'll come from here, shoot back, go down, along the back, and then get to right about this little thing there. So that's what I'm going to try to get done here so I can get the right length of wire. And I'm going to cut it just a little bit on the long side. So I'm going to cut it like right here. That should be more than long enough. So I'm going to cut each length of that. Yay. There's 9 of you. I've lost a few. Some of you guys just don't want to learn. I see how it is. Fuck off. I'm teasing you. I know this is not exactly exciting. It's hard to watch this, but if you're interested in seeing how your amp gets made, and possibly the mistakes that I made, and see the pain that I put myself through, you will stick around and you will watch me. You will watch me. Or you're not. Whatever. You do what you gotta do. You do you, boo. You do you, boo. Freaking time is it? 7 o'clock? And we're making reasonable amount of time, I guess. I was hoping to be a little bit further along. I was hoping that we would actually have the switch kind of wired in, which I guess technically we kind of do. We're getting there. Little by little, we're getting there. Luckily, I did do some practice work on some other wires the other day, so I'm a little bit more familiar with how these things kind of work. That does help. Because it was a little bit brutal the first time. Because you're just like, I don't know how the fuck this thing works. And the little tricks of like crimping it a little bit first are muy importante, to believe it or not. It makes no sense why you should have to do that. But it is. It is the way it is, okay? We don't fight the system. Oh man, I totally missed the fucking thing. I crimped the one part though, so that's the important thing. There it goes. Oh, I missed it again? You dirty little... There it is. Okay. Ta-da! There it goes. I got it that time. Yay! Okay. So this is the female, which goes in this one here. I will wait until I got all 4 of them. And then I will go over and relearn and make sure that I'm not crazy, because I swore to God blue is the hot, or the line. But Riley is correcting me, so that is probably a good thing. It probably doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things, as long as you wire it the same all the way across. But from a technical standpoint, yeah, it would make a huge deal, I guess. Be mildly embarrassing. I say mildly because I'm not from the EU, so why the fuck would I know which wire's which? The wife is home. Saying hi to the doggo. Oh man, the tool works great. It's unbelievable. Like, I don't know how it knows what to do with the fucking wire, but it just does it. It's just freaking amazeballs. I'm stoked. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm quite smitten with how it just freaking does it. I don't know how it does it, but it does it. I'm not arguing with the process. I'm going with the flowing. But I gotta say that if you're looking for something as a connector that can make your amp a little bit more modular, this guy right here, these little Molex connectors are probably your answer. I will say this though, the trick is, upon initial, attempt to place the wire in there, you do want to kind of give it a soft crimp. And the soft crimp will help it so that the wire doesn't move out when you go to actually do the crimp. That's all. No more, no less. The wife is funny. So we got Mr. Buddy Butt. I call him Buddy Butt. He is an 80-pound pit bull, and he is the sweetest thing on 2 feet. Motherfucker's afraid of kitty cats. He will not screw with cats. When there's a kitten around, he is like just he's the sweetest dog. Like he's like the epitome of the like nanny dog. So hence the name Buddy. He's just such a sweet boy. He's such a good boy. Such a good boy. And they say pit bulls are mean. This guy, he is not mean whatsoever. He's a good boy. And there's that, and here's that, and it just every freaking time, I love it. It's great. And you can see I'm bleeding for you because I love you that much. I'm gonna make you an amp for free. I'm gonna send it somewhere across the freaking globe. I'm kidding. Okay, so female. We got male, female. So let's make sure I do my due diligence here. So I'm going to go ahead and put this aside for a second here. We are going to get a mouse out, and let me go over to here and go wiring. Enter. Let's go. So neutral is blue. How the fuck did I not know that? Live is brown. Neutral is blue. Well, fuck you, Riley. Thank you. Thank you, by the way, for catching that for me. Most appreciated. I probably would have figured it out later when it didn't matter. Would have been too late anyway. So this is going to be 1. So in you go. Numero uno. Number 2. Click. There's number 2. Number 3 is going to be, I don't have brown, so brown's going to be our yellow. So yellow is another hot line color, by the way. So if you are familiar with like 250 volt in the Americas, there's red and white. Well, so there's black, red, white, yellow, and green. So, and then number 4 will be our neutral. Or other neutral, I should say. Okay, look at that. Yeah, right? If you're not bleeding, you're not working. No truer words have ever been spoken. That is a fact. Luckily, it's not like bleeding. I think my nose might have been bleeding more earlier than my fingers now. I don't know what the hell I did, but there's just something in the air lately. It's been really hot over here, and it's causing some issues. I will say this, the Tylenol I took earlier is definitely helping with the headache. My neck is still a little sore, but whatever, I'll get over it. All right, so we got 2 more runs that we need to connect. I'm going to close this. Oh, so let me show you the box. So this is the box that I got. It's just whatever, the DX crimp. So I can't remember what these are. So this is the 3.68 pitch. And then I got this other one here in this other box, and I think this is like the 2 point something. I don't know. It's a 2 point something pitch. 3 millimeter, excuse me. So this is the 3.68 millimeter, and then this is a 3 millimeter. My intention, I'm in debates, so I like the red on this one for the, so this one obviously doesn't have red, but they still have the 4 pins. Now these are only rated for 4 amps, okay? Now the reason I didn't get these one is because, or didn't go with these ones, is because they only go up to 20 gauge. So the largest wire size I can put in this is 20 gauge. I use 22 for most everything on the back side, but these ones fit the intermediate sizes that range between 20 gauge up to 30 and otherwise up to 18 on the other end. But then I saw these guys, they got these red connectors, and that's what I wanted to use for that lighting module that I was talking about. So on the lighting module, I will wire that in with the red. That's the plan with that. So I'm going to use these the entirety, but I have these as well for some other low voltage stuff. But I got both just because you never know. So call me the Molex man. I don't know. I'm tired of those butt connectors or the freaking, you know, these guys here that have like the heat shrink on them. I want to try to get the fittings that, you know, either have the rubber boots or the, you know, these things here are already bad enough to have to use, and because I need to go off. That was weird. It looked like it moved on me. I don't know if it did, but let me kind of explain what I'm talking about there. So on the secondary side of the switch, so on the outgoing side of the switch, I need to split off and go into this. Now, historically, I would use these guys, or I use this guy, and one would go out to wherever it needed to go, generally into the power transformer, and then the other one would feed into this, and then I would Y off of that and into the rest. I am still going to do that in this build here because that is the proper way to do it. But where it gets scary is that this is not a an angled, you know, connector like these. So I don't know. Let's find out. Let's see here. Is it this one? I guess it doesn't matter. This is one of the looser ones. It looks like it's going to be okay, right? So by the time this gets in there, like I can get it in there even with the part in there, right? And this thing won't really move much, but you see what I mean? Like it's butting right into it. And that actually does kind of bug me a little bit. So maybe what I will do, since it's completely modular anyway, is I will put 2 wires in this, and you can do that. You are allowed to Y out of these things. So I will use 2 wires, and they will Y out. Maybe, I don't know how I want to do it, but you know, basically like that, right? And it'll Y out to there, and then the other one will go around, and then the other one, it doesn't look like I'll be able to. Maybe it'll be interesting, but it will work. I think it technically will work. I can basically have both of them come out like that. I know you can't really see that, but you see what I mean? Like both of them will come out that one direction there, and then it'll go into there, and then it'll go into the other. I don't know. I wasn't anticipating doing that. I was gonna do one direction and one the other way, just because it looks better. But so I'll do one like that, and then one in the opposite direction like this. Right? So one will go out that way, one will go the other way. It looks ugly though. But then I got the smaller 3/16 inch. I guess it doesn't matter either way. It doesn't really matter either way. Now I gotta settle something else. Sorry. I'm okay with that. They will clear each other. You just basically bend one down a little bit and bend one up a little bit, so they just kind of overlap a little bit. So because one bends down and the other one bends up, so you can get the clearance that you need there. Does that make sense? And then the wire, the unfortunate thing is the wire's got to go out that way, which means that they'll have to go in around that way and then up into this thing. And then from this, they have to go from its connectors back down and around to get to that other side. while leaving space for this thing. Now this thing is going to fit, I think, like this. I'm going to put it in this little corner here, kind of like that. That's what I'm thinking of doing. All right, so that'll just sit there. It'll get tacked into the corner there with some double-sided sticky tape, and then this will go to get to the, remember that little magnet thing is going to be right in there. So I got to pick a direction for this to go. I'm not set in stone on it. I think if I recall correctly, I don't know. I don't know if I can put it in the other way. It sure doesn't seem like it at the moment, but as I recall, I was able to. See if I can rip my fingers apart again. Ow! Yeah, it'll fit in this way. So, like this is the way I prefer to put it in, right? So it's in like that. And then this would go here over to that, and it'd just be free, kind of free floating. And it will connect to a little magnet that will, you know, sit in the chassis like right in there somewhere. Then this would go however it needs to go. So this can come up as high as I need it to. And then this will go into there. So, hey, baby. Hold on, let me create you some space. How was work?
It was good. I got a lot done today. It was long.
Yeah, that's good. All right. Cool. Drive wasn't too bad.
No, the traffic wasn't bad. There was more traffic than ready for that hour.
Yeah. Beamer. Well, as they say, if it were easy, everybody would be doing it.
Everybody was doing it, or there wouldn't fit any traffic.
They don't call it work for nothing.
No, the office looks great though.
Hell to the yazah. The wife is going to do some laundry. She has to do some laundry. Shit has to get done. So, all right. So we don't know this is going to go in there like that. Right. So it's going to tuck in there like that. This guy is going to come around and go somehow or another like that into this over here, right? I'm probably going to leave it the length that it currently is because that seems to work quite well. And that will go, let me get the fittings that I'm talking about so it makes more sense. So these are the small fittings that I use. And I take the blue stuff off. I don't leave that on there. So what I do is I use a heat gun, pull the blue thing off or the red thing off that these things have. Now these ones I'm not too worried about. As you recall, there's enough length over there. They're out of the way here, right? So they will be able to, ow, poked myself right on the frickin' thing again. Right? Does that make sense? So there's that. All right. So we've worked out some issues. We've come up with some game plans. We're kind of, unfortunately for you guys, I know it's not exactly exciting, but we're working out some of the problems that we're going to have in real time. More or less, that's what we're doing. So I wish I could say it was easier or that there wasn't any kind of hidden gotchas, but there is. So that's just all there is to it. There's always a freaking gotcha. What I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and get these things off now because we are going to need these before we're done today. So I'm just heating it up, and you can actually see it. I don't know if you can see that kink that it's got in there. Well, the kink will go away, and it's gone away. Set that down on a nice safe surface, and then you just get something else, bite into it, and pull it off, right? Dink, and those go in the trash. And then you're just left with that. And I don't want that to sit on any, no, it's going to go right there. Is what it be. We'll do that one more time. So that kink that I was talking about, you can see that there's like that extra lip, right? So we're just making that disappear. And then what I do is I put that 3-to-1 heat shrink over the top of it. There's nothing better than that 3-to-1 heat shrink, let me tell you. Oh, it's so cool, that stuff. All right. Ew, it still smells funky, though, when you're melting it off. It's not really melting it off, but you know what I mean. Heating it up. All right. I don't really want to make anything permanent yet. Like, I don't really want to install this permanently. So let's get another thing now. I know that I have created, I don't know, I remember where I put the wires at. I made all the wires and I moved them somewhere. I didn't throw them away, but I can't remember where I put them is the thing. Maybe I put them in here. Where did I put you guys? There's all those wires I had the other day. I know I put them somewhere. I just don't remember. Apparently, I hit them so well. I hit them from myself. Sorry, I'm looking around my office space here, trying to figure out where the heck I put literally this much wire that was... Oh, I found it. I know where it's at. Under that other thing of new wire that I told you that I got. So, I am going to use the non-silicone wire for the ground. This is 16 gauge, that's why. Okay, so 16 gauge, there's a little more current on the ground side, but it is the 16 gauge, or is it 14? No, this is 16 gauge. So it's bigger than the 18 gauge, all right? So that is just like a small, like, safety margin to make sure that the ground path has the best, you know, whatever you want to call it. So this is what I'm going to use for the ground wire, just as an FYI. So it's still going to go out and around and in there like that, right, that we were talking about, but just FYI. So I kind of almost, you can't really flip these things, that's the downer of it, you know, but this will go there. Oh, I clicked it all the way on. That was a dumb move. But in either case, doesn't matter. It's non-incidental. Non-incidental. So that'll go there. And this will go there. That'll go down and like that, right? So the hope is that while that thing is down there, that is the longest wire connected to anything, and yada, yada, yada. However, I'm going to go ahead and just leave that attached for now. With the other wires, I'm still going to use... do I? I guess it doesn't really matter. So it's all 16 gauge for the other stuff. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to go with a 16 gauge. Whatever. Or the 8... Excuse me. The silicone stuff. My apologies. The words are punching out of me. Just not in the right sense. Burp. So I might be able to get it... Excuse me. Burped again. Alright, so I might be able to get away with this short one here that I cut and get it to go from there to there. Maybe. Objectively, that would be what I'd try to do. I don't know if you've kind of caught on to what I'm trying to do here, but I'm trying to get all my wire links figured out ahead of time. Sorry. Goodness gracious. And then I want to know for sure which one they consider to be the line. I guess they don't really care. Historically speaking, though, now let me double check one of my other amps just to be sure. I don't want to... Oh, man, that one doesn't have that going on. I know that my IEC connectors tell me. And, of course, I put all my IEC connectors away. So this one is going in upside down, just as an FYI, right? So this one is going to be in this orientation, like that, right? And it is pretty much what I thought. That is the line, that is the neutral. So normally you'd put it in there like this. That's the ground, that would be the line, that's the neutral. But as you can see, when you flip it up... Oh, wait. Did I get it backwards? I got it backwards. Who am I trying to kid? Okay, yeah, it is right. All right. Normally, everybody puts them in like this. They put it so the angle side is down and the ground is on the bottom. I'm going to do it the more commercial way, where they put the ground on the top. I don't know if you've ever been to like a doctor's office before or whatnot, But in a doctor's office, they make it so that the ground pin is facing up. And the idea behind that is if anything ever did fall onto the top of the connector while it's plugged into the wall, the ground pin is the first thing that they would hit. So when you take this thing and you put it like that, so right, this is the back of the amp, you're looking at it like this, that is the ground there on the top. But that also makes this the neutral, but that's not how it's going into the amp. It's going into the amp like this. It's in this orientation. So when you put it in there the other way, it's actually going to be upside down. So this will end up on the top, which makes that the line, which is very, very convenient for me. That was kind of a happy accident in trying to actually do the right thing. I finally got a break, I guess, if you will. So this is the line in this particular case here, and the line I need to go right there, which means this little short piece of shit black wire is the length it needs to be for me to create that little jumper. Remember, we're going to use these guys, so it's not going to be very long at all. It's literally going to go like, I think I'll go left out of this and then go straight into that one. So by the time we get over here, I'm not worried about hitting that guy anymore. And it's just far enough back, I think we can make it work with a normal spade connector. Let me double check and make sure I'm not insane in the membrane. So here's one of the normal connectors here. Again, I'll peel the red off. And then that'll go like that. Ooh. So by the time this comes out like that, it's almost like, you see what I'm saying? It's literally going to be that long. Does that make sense? Do you see what I'm trying to do here? Like, it'll literally be like that freaking long, like an inch or two. Now, which is going to break first when you go to pull this thing out? That wire is going to break first. That is the line. That is the hot. That is what you want to have happen in an instance like that. But these are the really good connectors that have the freaking stops in them. And the only thing that you can do to get the stops out is to push the freaking little tab that's on the bottom. So I'm going to try to push the tab while I pop. There it goes. Got it. Haha! That was a very cool, happy accident. Sometimes you just get lucky. Stay put, please. Thank you. All right. So let's go ahead and... this one's got it too. This one's not as rough though. I've worked with this one before, so I know how that one acts. All right. Let's get the end off. And then I will put the... on this one here, I'll use, I don't have the straight, ooh, yes I do. Hold on. Show you what I mean. Sorry, I'm squirreling a little bit here. I'm trying to get through as many thoughts as I can in my head at the same time. It's not working. It's not working. So I have, oh yes, this box, which is the straight ones. I could have just used these, I guess you could say, but I didn't. I need to get through those spade connectors like that. But guess what they have? Those. Which is what those are for. Makes sense? Pretty dang cool. I think that's what they're for. Yeah, that'll fit. Okay. So now we can make it so it matches. Fucking do the shimmy with me. Come on! Do the shimmy with me. Alright, let's get this one on there. And we'll get it soldered. Oh man, that worked out so freaking well. I'm super excited right now. I'm so excited, you guys. You don't even understand. I'm so super excited. This is like the most bestest thing ever. It is so freaking awesome. So freaking awesome. Awesome possum. Why aren't you guys laughing? You can't laugh with me. At least laugh at me. I am a goober, don't you worry. I am insane in the membrane. Insane, got no brain. Insane in the membrane. And we went through this the last time, I know. But this is that connector that I think I need to use this guy. No, it is not. I can't remember. There was a thing I did. I did a thing. I can't remember what it was, though. I'm trying different things, okay? That's really what it is coming down to, is I'm trying different things. I want to make it work. But see, that isn't gonna... Oh, that's why, because Luke's a freaking idiot. I'm referring to myself, but... Okay, and then we're gonna undo that. Ow! Then we're gonna come back around, and we're gonna go this way. And if you wouldn't mind... It completely undid itself. Whatever it was that I did, it undid that. You dirty little... Alright, hold on. We can do this. Nah, kind of did what I needed it to do. It's getting there. I mean, it did it. It did it. Don't get me wrong. It is not ideal, but it did do what it was supposed to do. Alright, it did what it was supposed to do. Alright, let's just freaking... We're gonna go old school on this. I need to get the right freaking tool. That's really what it comes down to. Luke needs to buy the right kind of freaking tools to do all these crazy freaking things. Don't judge me. I'm just a dude. Just a freaking dude. Alright, we're gonna turn on the iron. It doesn't look like it's cutting the wire. Yeah, we're gonna be alright. Okay. 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 I don't want to do it on that, though. Kind of rather do it on this. You guys are so quiet in the chats there. It's kind of scary. I know that there's like 9 of you in here. Somehow or another, there's 9 of you in here right now. Baffles my mind, but hey, whatever. We're here now, so... Fucking melt. For fuck's sakes. There it is. And then you go in the thing. And you go in the thing. And then you go over here. And then I want you to go this way. I'm trying to get the solder to flow where I want it to go. It's like one of those sort of deals. There it goes. Oop, I don't want to point at the end though. There it is. Ow. Alright, that will function. This goes like so anyway. You'll never actually see the ugly side. Somebody might see it. It's doable. It does not appear to be a weak connection because, yeah, no, it's okay. We're okay. We did good. We did a good job. It's not ideal, but we did a good job. Okay. So then on this side here, we get this guy. And that goes in here like so. You mother trucker, get in your home. So I know that some of you are probably looking at me, listening to me, going, Luke is a freaking absolute kook. I'm going to be honest in saying that my goal is to try to not have dead air. In my early days of sound engineering, like one of the freaking rules was that dead air is bad air. Broadcasters have a kind of a similar rule too. Dead air is bad air. So you don't want to have absolute silence for any length of time, because that can... You think this stuff is boring. Imagine being actually freaking boring. So that is why I yippee yap the way I yippee yap. So what I want to do, this thing is actually going to pull in just a skosh, not much, but a skosh. So I'm actually going to put it on all the way, and then I'm going to pretend I'm going to be a dickwad. I'm going to put this one's actually going to move with it, so I guess if I build them both this way, it's going to be just fine. So I am going to pretend like that is my goal. Is to make something that looks kind of like that, which means I need to cut this like right in there. That thing is awesomely freaking short. That is freaking super freaking duper. And then now we got to see if I can get this thing back off. And no, we're not going to be able to get it off without freaking pushing the tab. That's why I got these things though. To get the freaking tabs that lock. These are not meant to come apart. So I'm trying to make it as fail-proof as I can, I guess you could say. And this one did come off the last time. Let's see if I can do it without freaking killing myself, though. Freaking thing. Alright, and we want that to kind of go like that. So I want to make sure that we put these things in the right orientation. So yeah, that's why I yip like constantly, even though there's no real reason to. There is a rhyme and a reason to my craziness. Okay, I want that to go like so. And then this is what this tool is actually meant for, just FYI. So, just so you know. And then I want this to go like so. So what I'm going to do is put this in there. There it is. That's what we wanted. Like, just like that. And then this will go like, oh! You mother trucker! Apparently I needed just like a click more pressure on there. Let's see here. Okay, so try that one more freaking time. Click. And then there it goes. It pinches it in there like it's supposed to. Yes. Yes. I'm also going to solder this as well. Ooh, I wonder if I should have put that thing on first. I know it'll go over. It's just going to be... No, damn it. I don't know. You know how you done it right? You done it twice. I should have put this on first and then pulled it up and over. I think we can work through this. I think. Oh no. I guess we're going to make this part again because I fucked up. Ooh, I fucked up. Damn it. I had it so perfect. Well, practice makes perfect. Guess what? That means we need to make another length of fucking black wire and work out all the other stuff. Because I jumped the gun. Because I went too far too fast. I got too close to the sun. Chucking that thing, it's garbage. I'll save the rubber boot just so at the end, when I have more rubber boots than I have fittings, I'll know how bad I fucked up. How's that? I'm honest. But gall darn it, I hate it. I hate it when that happens. It invariably that happens. Steven, thank you so much for coming in. I appreciate you. You have a wonderful evening. Don't work too hard. It is 7:45 for me. I told you it was going to be at least until 8 o'clock on this. I was not kidding. And it would be a hell of a lot freaking faster if I wouldn't frickin' things up. But, you know. It is what it be. I want you in just a little. There we go. Perfect. Just like that. Just like that. I think I figured out a way. I can't remember. I thought this thing worked for the initial part out here. And it does. It's just not ideal. But that did crimp it. Whatever. And then I think we already kind of figured it out. It was this way. That sort of got it going. And and then it's like totally the other direction that I needed it to frickin' go. So get going the right direction. And this isn't working very well. I'm getting pieced. Ish. Really? You mother freaking fucker. Alright, whatever. We're learning. This is not the right tool for the job. It's not what it's meant to do anyway. But it is going to do the job. Alright, let's get this thing soldered in. Come on. Okay. Fucking thing. Alright. Sorry if I curse too much. I am a sailor on days that end in Y. Just saying. Alright, we're going to put this in this time. This freaking piece here. The one that we missed. Alright. Damn. I guess I could just use this other one as like a gauge for how long I need to make it. And you come on out of there. So let's see here. How long do you need to be? Oh yeah, that'll work. That'll do. Okay, so queso in one time. And a little bit long won't hurt. Made it just a skosh, like a RCH, a little bit longer than I did the last time. So get back in there. Okay, I'm going to put this on now. Period, alright? I'm going to stuff it down in there. And then I'm going to do this. And I need just a little bit more, I think. There it is. Alright. Now I've got to do something. I've got to get another one of those freaking ends. Just happen to have one out. And click. Alright, we want these things to go the same direction is what it is. So this is going to go... I'm going to try... I already know it's not going to fucking work, so I don't even know why I'm even bothering. Okay, so I'm going the other direction this time. Like so. Oh man. You... Sorry, I know I'm off camera right now. My apologies. Click. And then I want to get to the other one here because I missed the freaking ass end of it here. There it is. And because I want to go overkill, there it is. Alright. There, this time we actually made it correct with the freaking thing on there like it's supposed to be. What do you know? Imagine that. Uh-oh, now we're down to 7. I'm losing them, people. I'm losing them. Sorry. All right. So this is going to go back in there. Told you this was not going to be a fun one tonight. This is the actual reality of it. All right, so that's going to go there, and it's going to fit there. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. This one's a little bit tighter than the other one, of course. So we know that's going to work. That's cool. We'll get this other one off there in a bit. Not super duper worried about it at the moment. What I do want to do is get it just so it's a little bit easier to get in there initially. There it is. Maybe. Golly. God damn. That one's a toitin'. That one's a toit one. Generally, I would say not to freaking expand your spade connectors. They are meant to be a nice solid mechanical connection, but this one is being a little ridiculous. There it goes. And of course now, I really got the fun joy of getting it off. There it is. Alright, there it goes. Alright, there we go. Got that fitting. Whew. The last little bit we got really is coming down to this guy here. Which is our connector. So we got to come up with a length from these guys here, and then I got to recall the wiring order. As I recall, it's 1 and 4 are our hot neutral, and then it's basically hots connect on one side and neutrals connect on the other, as I recall. So we want this thing to kind of land here. All the wires kind of down there, and then this guy will shoot up and into it. I know it's, again, hard for you to see what I got going on there, but these will all kind of just shoot in at an angle from behind. Something like that, but I gotta freaking just kind of come up with a length, I guess is more or less what I'm working on here. And that'll go kind of in that little zone there. I'm okay with that. I want it to go like right in the middle though. That's kind of where it's got to go. Okay, and then this will go up and at an angle. This is going to be a very not fun task right here, because I'm going to literally have to just come up with a length of wire. It's just got to be a length of wire. So we're going to do this one at a time, interestingly enough. And as I recall, it's 1, 2, 3, and then 4 is over here. So I'm going to take this guy out, actually. And I don't really need this one in anymore. We did work that one out as well. So now that we can get this out of the way. Bah. Okay. There's that. And it is... Nope, it was the other way. Alright, yeah, that's 1, that's 2. That is 3, which makes the last one over here. Or wait, how did I do that actually? Wait. That has to be 4 over there. They just made it really difficult to see. But that is 2. I can see that's 2. I can see that one says 3. Which means that one's 1. And then the 4, they just don't really have it. So this one goes in here. So I had it backwards. It's 1. 1 is over here, 2, and then 3, and then 4. So it's 1, 4. Yay. I'm really losing you guys now. I see how you are. No love for the Lukester. He's boring. I'm kidding. Alright, so this one's gonna go like this. I want that thing to be like right there. I am just gonna go brave. I'm gonna cut this thing like just a little on the long side. Click. That's gonna be our first one there. And then this is the part that sucks because I got to get 2 of them in there. Because if you recall, I have to get that other unit that I got to make the things for. I don't have to make the things for because I already have them. Because I have the 2 short. So again, I got these guys here, so I can use. No, wait. How the hell did I fuck that up twice? These are all females here. That's why I'm an idiot. So I don't know how I did it twice, but I managed to do it not once, but twice. Either way, whatever. This is the one coming from the switch. Haven't done that one yet. So this is going to come, yeah, that's the female. So this is going to come from the switch. We haven't done this yet, but we're going to have to work that out. One of these is coming back from the switch anyway. Actually, no, these both are. So I got to figure, yeah, there's all kinds of stuff. There's so many things to figure out. So since these are the male ones are going to go from here and then out. So we're just going to cut these. I'm not going to bother trying to save them. All right. So I got this one cut. That's where we're going to put it, but it's got to solder into this. So I need to create the other length that's going to come out and go into that connector that went down there that we were talking about. Because remember, this is going to the from the switch to the transformers. So since it's going from the switch to the transformers, it is this guy that, as I recall, we wanted to land like right in here somewhere. Ooh, that's right. We already have one kind of in that spot or in that zone. I think we can put it there so it's on the other side. That'll give us some length too. It's not in an ideal spot, but right there will work. Okay. Yes. Then that means this guy will go into that. So I need to get the male connector. Oh wait, that is this one. Did I already work that out? I already did work that out. That's what this one was for. Duh. But I think I went to the wrong side is what it is. See how one's longer than the other? So I did do it backwards. Well, you know, you can be as smart as you want to be, but what that just means is that we're going to end up going like this instead. So yeah, that was kind of dumb of me. Whatever. I got it backwards. So earlier when I made this connector here, this is the one I was trying to make right now. It's not going to work, obviously. I must be getting tired because I'm starting to lose my shiznit. But in either case, I cut it so that this one would go on the inside here and that this one would go on the outside there. Well, obviously, I fucked up because one, I guess I didn't. It doesn't matter. 1 and 2 is the hots and 3 and 4 are the neutrals, but it doesn't really matter if you do 3 and 4 as hots and 1 and 2 as neutrals, because the way it's doing the connections is the same either way. So the way this switch, I'll show you in the next episode, I think. I lost a bunch of you, but it's just probably not ideal to do it that way because it's not correct, but I don't think it honestly matters. But the way that the switch works, there's 4 poles, right? So 1 and 2, 3 and 4, right? So in this case here, it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. But these two, when it's in 110, are connected together. And then, so these two, which are both the hots, so we run them in parallel. So we're taking both the hots and both the neutrals and tying them together in parallel. And then when you go to the 230 connection, it ties the center ones together, right? So one of the hots runs in series to one of the neutrals, right? And then you come in a hot, you go out a neutral, in a hot, and then you come out a neutral, right? And that's how you get your series connection, so that way you can have the 230 volts. That's how that works. So that's why I say it doesn't really matter which, you know, if this is 1, 2, 3, and 4, or if this is 1, 2, and 3, and 4, because it's doing the same thing either way. It's connecting them that way, live, you know, prosper, live long and prosper. And then the other way, it's just connecting the two in the middle. So it doesn't matter if it's that way or that way. You get what I mean? It's the same either way. So I think because I already furked up enough and I don't really want to make any more connectors and it doesn't matter, I'm going to keep it the way that I currently got it. So I'm going to do that, which means I cut that other one, I think, incorrectly, but let's find out again how much I duffed it. So we're going to put that over there. I think I actually did do it. I did do it wrong, which means it's going to buy me some. It's going to buy me some. That's all there is to it. So what I want to do is get this connector somewhat in there. Click, because that needs to have the space. So I want it to kind of go like right there. Just like that, kind of, more or less. I don't want that to be on the bottom, though. I want it to be kind of like this, I think. Yes, like this. So that puts both the hots on the top. So this is going to go here along the bottom. And then it's going to cruise on up. And then it's going to go into my thing right there. And it's going to go like right there. So I actually get to cut it a little bit shorter and be okay. So I'm going to cut it just a little longer. Not much, just a little bit. That's that. All right, so now what we want to do, I think, is probably put that in there with the other connector, or not move it. We just don't want to move it, because the other hot's got to go with it. But it's going to be a different length because it's going to come in from the bottom. So what I want to do is make sure that everything stays put, and it's going to go exactly where I need it to. And not move it. I like to move it. I know, I'm sorry, my head's in the way, and you're not getting to see a whole hell of a lot here. I'm just trying to work this shit out, eh? Okay, eh? So that one's gonna go there. This one's gonna go here. And again, I guess what I can do is run it underneath. I kind of want to run it underneath. So that's gonna go there. And then I need to cut it a little bit long, just a wee bit long. Click. All right, and we got to do the two others. And since things haven't moved too much, I think we're going to be all right. Now I want the white to go on the outside. So these are going to go underneath. And I want the blue to go on the inside. So now that we got that, we're going to take this one. I think we're going to go like that. I think we're going to do it right there. We're going to cut it right there. Click. All right, and then we got one more. So the white one now is the only one left. And that one's going to go all the way to the back. Get on that side of it. Thank you. And then I want you to get on your side of the thing over here, please. So that's the only downside of this silicone wire, is that it does not stay very put. All right, and then that's going to go like that. That's where I'm going to say it's going to go. And we're going to cut it just a little long, just a little long. Click. All right. calling it. 5 of you get to witness the pain that I am going through. And as you can see, what we've ended up with is 2 of them ended up about the same length and the others some other length. Okay, whatever. That gets us to here with that connection. Now we need to share 2 of those connections with this. So that's where the challenge comes in, is that I have to get 2 wires into those little freaking holes there. So, and then what I want to do is I want to put a little bit of shrink tubing over the end there. So I don't want these little pokey bits sticking out where you can get bit by them. So I'm going to turn on the soldering iron. I'm going to bring the heat down just a little bit. I am going to strip the end off. I'm done with this for now. And I believe, yeah, I think we're going to be all right. All right. So how much wire do I want to have sticking out? Not much, but a little bit. Oh, freaking joy. Now, I don't think I can pre-tin these because this hole on that thing is going to be a little on the tight side for that, if I'm not mistaken. And then I also want to make sure that when I put this in there that it's kind of in the right order. So there's that one. And then I put the other one down somewhere. Where the hell did I put it? Did I leave it connected? Oh, here it is, right here. Okay. And we're going to do the same thing with this one. I'm just going to nip a little bit off here. Dude shaved me bare, gave me a lollipop. Please, sir, just a little off the top. Dude shaved me bare, gave me a lollipop. What is that? The frickin' Bart Simpson or something like that? Am I dating myself at all? The frickin' like first album or something they came out with for him. Now I want to try to do this in a way where, oh my god, this is gonna suck. This is gonna suck. I'm not looking forward to doing this right now. So there's just enough room in this wire, or this fitting, for 1 wire. Not enough really for 2. It's not really meant to do what we're doing here. So this is gonna suck. Because I gotta get 2 wires in the space meant for 1. Somehow I managed to get like 3/4 of the other wire in there, but not all of it. So it goes to show how little wire you need technically for current capabilities on most of these things that these things are designed for. You do not need a whole frickin' butt ton of crazy, amperage wires to do some of this stuff. And that did get itself in there. Now it looks ugly as sin, though, on the other side. Ew. This is not going to be fun. This is not going to be easy. It is going to make me work, period. So I'm trying to fit 18 gauge wire in a spot that's probably really only meant for 20 gauge. And maybe you could fit 2 20 gauge wires in there, no problem. But I'm trying to stuff, literally 18 amps worth of wire into a single hole that isn't made to flow 19, that much amperage. So that's the challenge I'm getting at, is it's not meant to do what we're trying to do. Okay, I think we're gonna have to go this route with it. We're gonna have to do this outside of the chassis, which is gonna suck. That is not gonna make things good for me, but we're gonna do it. And I want this piece here, that piece there. So this is what I'm talking about. See that little hole right there? That little hole is what I'm trying to fit 2 wires into. It's not really meant to do that. It can be done. It's just, can and should are 2 different things. Can and should are 2 different things. But I'm an asshole, and I will do it. I will get it, and it will go in its hole. Like that, like I just managed to somehow pull off. Now the next challenge is getting both of those things to stay put in there, but yet not flail out in such a way where I can't solder them and put a whatchamacallit over the top of them. Because I do want to put a shrink rep on there. And it looks like I'm going to have to hold this thing while this is where the helping hands would have been super duper helpful. So this is what we're going to have to do. Like that. Oh my god, that actually fucking worked. Now the question is did I get them in the right freaking order? I don't know. That I don't know, but ow, that's freaking getting kind of warm. I don't want it to be that warm. There it is. Okay. Ow. Okay. So that's not extremely pretty, but do keep in mind we're going to put some shrink wrap tubing over that. Now there's only two of these that are going to be like that, the black one there and this white one. So you're probably wondering how the hell I'm going to fit all this stuff inside of the amp. That is a question I'm asking myself, because I was hoping it was going to be a little bit more malleable, because my plan was to do something like this where the connector goes in and then you get the wires to slip on through there, which I know that the wires will slip through. That's not the problem. But then this thing has to, like you can kind of see it has to slip through there and like tuck in. But that is going to be super freaking tight, especially with all the other stuff going on there. And the fact that, oh, that is not going to work. Well, I'm the king of wishful thinking, I guess you could say, but, I don't think it's going to function the way I was hoping it would. Maybe it will. I don't know. If they all, it might work. I don't know. It's going to have to do something. Something's got to give, all right? Something has got to give. So we're gonna do what we can. These things do bend a little bit, so maybe that's my saving grace, but whatever. This goes like this. That's gonna go underneath. That's gonna go like that. And then I don't know. It's gonna have to work. That's all there is to it. It is going to have to work. But I gotta get this other side in there somehow. Somehow or another. One way or another. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. One day, maybe next week. Na, na, dun, 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 dun. Is that right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Oh, this is frustrating. This is frustrating. I don't know that this is gonna do what I was hoping it was gonna do. I'm getting a little scared right now. Just a little scared. Of all the things that, you know, I was anticipating to go well, this was one of the ones that I thought might. Which basically means I'm at a point now where I have to make a choice. I can either have it come off the front, which, you know, come out that way, which I know would work, but I know that that's also going to make it ugly and not work the way I want. Or I shoot them all out the back side here, and then I'm going to have to like bend these things in somehow and like work it through the freaking hole. Like, it's not the end of the world. It's just not a freaking deal. So I'm just gonna freaking go for it. And we're gonna get these ones in. Now these are the ones that are gonna be the most problematic of the two, just because of the way that they are. The other ones I'm not as worried about. I want you to play by the rules. And my wife is not good at doing laundry, by the way. I do my own laundry, put it that way. She, like, squirrels. So she's in the house doing what wives do, but not doing her laundry. So tonight, like 5 hours from now, she's going to be like, oh, did I put my laundry in the thing? I'll be like, no. Why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you do it? Because it ain't my laundry. I have a very simple rule. My rule is very simple. So don't buy me clothes that cannot be put in the dryer, because I wash everything all at once. That's one of the rules. So rule number 2 is don't mess up my laundry, because it shouldn't be difficult to not mess up my laundry. And you wouldn't believe it. I've had women in the past that have not been able to successfully do my freaking laundry. So I just do my own laundry. So I do have a laundry day once a week. And that is my thing. That is my thing. And I really, really wish this would play nice. And it's not going to play nice. Oh my fucking God! Can you tell I'm getting a little frustrated? 3 hours into this crap. 3 hours and 20 minutes. And I'm fighting with a freaking hole. Fighting with a freaking hole to put a gosh darn wire through it that I know will fit the freaking wire, because we got one side to go already. Oh, no, that did not go very well. Fail. Try again. It's not supposed to be this difficult, by the way, everybody. It is definitely not supposed to be this difficult. I am the one making it this difficult for myself by trying to do things this way. I tried to find these things with spade connectors. Really, really would. That's the proper way to probably do it. But no, Luke couldn't find that. But no, Luke's got to make an amp that's going to go anywhere in the world. Anywhere in the world. Couldn't be in America's only. Which means I wouldn't even have to freaking deal with this crap. But no. I'm messing with you guys. I'm actually kind of excited to make a world's mains voltage amp. I just wish this fucking thing would go in the hole. I know it'll go. That's the thing. It's just go in your hole. What, are you too good for your hole? Like, one goes in there like a dream. Like it was meant to. Like, obvious. It's the second one that's just being a little brat. And this is that really fine wire stuff too. Like, it's like got like a lot of strands, so it's not like the thicker wire stuff where it's got fewer strands or whatever. I don't know if that's a good thing or what, but whatever. It's like it goes in no problema in and of itself. I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna do something a little brave. I'm going to try to get these things to touch together and get them to go in the hole literally at the same time. Nope, it's not going to work. I know it already. I can already tell it's not going to fucking do it. Damn. Come on, baby. I know you want to go in the fucking hole. I know you want to go in your freaking hole. There's 8 of you watching me do this freaking stupid shit right now. Holy hell. This is embarrassing right now. This is freaking embarrassing. What was that freaking Letterkenny? Freaking embarrassing. A freaking classic television show. If you have never seen Letterkenny, go watch it. Like, don't fuck around. Go watch Letterkenny. Find the series. I think there's 8 seasons of that shit. My Canadian pals over there, man. It's another country I guess I wouldn't mind going to if I could. I don't think they want me there, though. Oh, did I get lucky this time? It's not pretty. It is in the hole, but it's not freaking pretty. And it's also the wrong freaking direction. But we're going to make this kind of... Hold on. Hold on. Oh my god. You gotta be kidding me with this shit right now. I know this will frickin' do it. You just gotta frickin' do it. Come on, baby. Do the locomotion. So I'm a glutton for punishment, as you can tell. But I also am a glutton for punishment, and that I cannot apparently say no to work. I may be doing a show for my local, community, if you will, here in the near future. In June. So we have a yearly like flower festival. It's basically like a spring festival, if you will. I'm going to try this. This is not going to go good, but I'm going to do this and it's going to suck. I'm probably going to end up having to redo both of these wires, to be honest. Like literally remaking them. But I'll do that at some other point in time. Like I'm not going to put you through that hell today. All right, it's in there. It's on. They look the same, at least on both. All right. This is the same direction on either one. So that's a good start. I don't know if I want to have it go the other way or not. I have one last opportunity right now to change the orientation that the wires like tuck around on it. So this is going to oh, well, I kind of had it right to begin with. So it is going to kind of go like that, but all right. So it kind of is going to fit in there like that. Anyway, so this is the point right here where I'm going to know if this is going to work or not. If I cannot get this thing in or out of that hole, I'm basically going to have to stop and come up with another plan on how to connect these, and that's going to piss me off because it's going to change my whole approach, and that sucks because it's already bad enough of an approach as it is. That would be attached at this point. So I'm trying to treat this as if it were the connected piece, right? So everything's already inside the connector, which means all these things have to go in first. So that's going to go in first. It's going to go in there. And then this one's got to frickin' fit in there, and it's already not fitting. So this might just be one of those things where I don't get to cheat it. Okay, so that went in. But now I've got to freaking get this thing to fold in there somehow. And I don't know that I would be able to. Yeah, I don't know, man. I got the one side. So I'd have to get them to fold outward far enough and then get the rest in there. No, it's just not going to do it. I mean, I can force it to. It would do it. I think I could make it work. Is it right? I don't know. Oh my God, you gotta be kidding me. Come on. Like, I know. And this wouldn't be in there like it is. I mean, I got it to go. But that is freaking freaky as fuck. It's obviously not correct. But it would technically work. I don't know. Never going to get it back out again, that's for sure. Let's see if I can even get this thing back out. Yeah, no, this isn't going to work. Well, it was worth a shot. I tried, and I failed. I freaking absolutely 100% failed right now. In lieu of that, that means I got to change the game entirely for how I'm going to connect those. So we might have to come back to this at some other point, because these are going to have to get... I might be able to salvage these connectors, like the long ones here, but I'm probably going to have to remake this short one, is my guess anyway. I don't want to redo that, so we're going to toss that aside for now. We're going to turn that off because that's no longer going to do me any good. I know that we needed to use this to make some connections. Those are the ones that we're going to come back, if I'm not mistaken. So we got this one that's going to it. So my ends are going to be the bottom ones here. Yes, that's what that was. Okay. And then I never made the white one that comes back. So the white one that comes back was the one that was going to connect to this guy here. So this is the one that comes back, but now we need the one that goes to it. So I need to make another white wire that goes across anyway. So I think I'm going to go ahead and use this length of it that I got here. So this one here, oh man, so minorly embarrassing, but like just it's more frustrating than anything. There's so many different ways you can connect all this shit, and I'm trying. So just to clarify what's going on here, this isn't going to work, so I'm going to go ahead and pull this apart. I'm just going to get that done, out of the way. My seat watching this, yeah, I'd be on the edge of my seat too. I'm pissed. Just FYI, I'm really not happy with where this has gone, but that's not the point. All right, so we're going to pull this out. These are done. I don't know that they're ever going to make it back in there again, but we're going to attempt to pull them out, and one way or another they're going to come out. There we go. And I got one more to go and not break anything. Okay, that didn't stick to anything. That's good. All right, cool. We didn't ruin the part, so that's good. These shirters are not cheap, by the way. I think this thing was like $15 or something like that. And it's not exactly, like, it's a good part, don't get me wrong, but it's not exactly, oh my God, you gotta be kidding me. This thing's gonna fight the whole freaking way, going in and coming out. All right, come on. We can do this. You and I, we can do this. I don't want to cut the wires if I don't have to, but I get the feeling that the problem that we got right now is that connector is bent. And, oh my God, you got to be kidding me with this shit right now. And I've got to figure out how to get the wires to pull through on something that looks like it shouldn't be bent. I don't know. I'm freaking edge of my seat. Freaking hell. All right. I want you to just pinch in there and not move. See, this is where the helping hands would be freaking amazing. And enough heat. Come on. There's the one. All right, so we got that one. There it is. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Okay. Now let's get this lead cleaned up here. All right, got that lead cleaned up. All right, that lead's cleaned up, and it didn't overheat the part. That's good. That is good. So I'm never going to get a wire back in there again without getting that lead a little bit cleaner. But we'll have to figure that part out. And melt down, would you? So what I'm trying to do is get the solder to melt down to the bottom of the connector here. So I can have half a chance of getting the wire back in. And maybe yeah, there it goes. Okay. All right. There's that. But yeah, these wires are done. They're never going to work. I'm going to have to redo that one, period. Same probably with these. So we're going to redo this. Okay. So if you recall, we got this guy here that goes like that, right? Let me see. Where's that little freaking nut that holds it in? There's one. I just need one. I don't need both. I just want the one. But the fact that I only found one bums me out. Because that means there's another one somewhere. Somewhere out there. All right. Anyway. All right. So that goes like that. And then this guy goes here like that. So what I'm trying not to do is have a bunch of wires that have to flow over the top of this here. Not that it's the end of the world. But everything else is really getting tucked very nicely down the bottom there. So that's what I'm trying to maintain, is where everything gets tucked down and in. But the problem with this here is that obviously I cannot suck things back. I was hoping to shoot from the back and be able to get it out. That was like the attempt. That was the plan that I was trying to do. Obviously that did not work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to abort this, and I'm going to use these two here, because these are the male pins, and then we'll recut those. So we'll use these for that, and then I need to make another white one to go into here, and probably another black one as well. So I'll use the remainder of the length of wire from that to do that. Yay. Just fucking yay. Anyway, there's that. This guy here is the one that's going to come all the way back, and then I got another one that I have to get... the white one that comes all the way up to this. So that's what this connector here is, right? So we got the wires that go up there. So the white wire that comes off of here, I still have not made yet. So I need to make that wire. So let's just freaking get that out of the way. All right, so there's that. I made the black one. That's the one that jumps right to the fuse right there. So now I got to make the white one that goes up to the front, that goes to the switch. So that's what I'm going to do right now. That's like the last thing I can probably get away with doing today. It is 3 hours in, and now I'm like just kind of frustrated. So, you know, fun times. So this is going to go off that way, shoot down, and then go up over into here and over. So we'll give it another couple inches, and we'll cut it there. Something like that. As they say, if it were easy, everybody would be doing it. It's not exactly freaking that easy. It's pretty freaking easy to do this. It shouldn't be as difficult as I've made it out to be. With a little bit more foresight, obviously, it would probably be a little bit easier to pull all this shit off. But no, I've gone and made things difficult for myself. So this is going to go down there like that. This is going to go there. So let's go ahead and just do this. I am going to need the heat gun again, or the soldering iron again. That's just one of those complications, like trying to add in those other connections. Like 9 out of 10 of them, they use a connector that comes in from the back. So just like case in point, do I even have it available? I probably don't. I don't. I thought I did. I was hoping I did. All right. Anyway, one of the other amps that I recently took apart, it goes in from the back, right? It screws in from the outside and it hangs out there, right? And you never have to deal with unsoldering it and all that fun stuff. So that's how they make it modular. In my case, I'm going for the look side of it, trying to make it all pretty. And for the 4 of you that are here and actually care, that is important to me. So in order to make the amp look the part, I am creating some challenges for myself that definitely don't make life any freaking bit easier. So yeah, that's just the downside to what I've done, I guess. What did we learn? Fuck. I've learned a lot, don't get me wrong, but golly. Some things, man, some things just make you have to fight. There are some things you shouldn't have to fight for in your life. This thing is making me fight for my right to party. And you dirty mother trucker. I need to get the right tools. It's more or less all there is to it. I gotta get the right tools for this thing. This is making me fight for my right to party. Straight up. And it's just not gonna fly. And I think that actually is going to somewhat work for what we got going on. All right, anyway. We want this to go like that. That actually did what I wanted it to do that time. Sorry, I know this is all off camera, but I was just trying to make this thing kink in like I was talking about before. So I got it to do it. It did it this time. So, yay. And then, yeah, so that's going to work like it's supposed to. And we're going to freaking straighten up some other work that I furked there. Golly. Frustrating. If in it were easy, everybody'd be doing it. If in it were easy, this is technically easy. Like, it's not that difficult. It's just, I'm making it, like I've said before, I'm making it very much difficult for myself. Needlessly difficult. Because why not? All right, there we go. Oh, I got some schmoo on there now. Okay, there we go. That cleaned up rather well. That cleaned up. All right. So now what we're going to do is send this on through. And click. All right. So this is going to go here, more or less like that. Ooh, I didn't mean to click it all the way on, but it did. Anyway, that's going to go there like that. And then this one is going to come up and in to that one. So I want that to go all the way out to the edge. And then that's going to go like that. But I need one more angle thing. And the one that I furked derp is the one, of course, that I'm not having in my possession right now. So I got to get another one out. And it looks like I got the boot. The permanent reminder of my mistake. There we go. All right. So then this is going to go, it sucks because it's going to go the opposite direction of the other one, but whatever. Damn, it looks like it's going to hit that thing, but it's not. It goes in far enough that it won't actually hit. But now what we need to do is get like kind of the length that we want on that. And I want to give it a little extra length. I'm not too worried about it. I'm going to go right to there. And then we're going to cut it. Trash. We're going to take this off. Oh, man, that's on there good. All right. This... And now, for my last trick, once we get this connection done tonight, I think we're going to call it. I've obviously got to do a couple more little bits of things, just things. I've got some other work to do, unfortunately. So I will get that figured out before I torture you guys. The 4 of you that are here with me now, I'll try to get all that worked out ahead of time next time. Make sense? Fair enough? I hope. Sorry, again, I'm doing some of this work off camera here. I've just given up on trying to crimp that. Since I'm soldering it, I'm just going to do it the good old-fashioned way and crimp it with not the proper tool. We'll use the proper tool for the remainder of it, because the remainder of it works out there quite well, actually, once you get it. So, blah. And if you wouldn't mind going, there we go. Sorry, just trying to, there it is. Lone Dog. What we got? Click. Some of us are hardcore, or maybe we like I love punishment, apparently. Like I say, if it wasn't for making it difficult for myself, I mean, this wouldn't be that bad. It's not that hard. This is not supposed to be like, you know, like forgetting to freaking put this thing on the boot. Now I know that this will fit over it regardless, but golly, it's the little things. It's the little things in life that make things difficult. When you start getting hurried or frustrated and you just lose yourself in the moment for what you're trying to pull off or accomplish, it's like, for fuck's sakes, just pull your shit together, man. I'm really trying right now, guys, to pull my shit together. I know that I can do this. I know that I can. I have faith in myself. All right, so that's going to go that way. That's going to go like that, more or less. Okay, cool. Whatever. Cool off already so I can put the little boot on you. All right. And in the home, you get in your home. Get in your home. See, at least I didn't totally fork myself over. Oh my gosh. All right. So let's just do kind of a soft fit, I guess. It doesn't really matter which way I go with this. But we're going to kind of go like this. I don't want to go all the way on. I'm going to try not to. And then that's going to go like this. And then that's going to go like this. And let's just, I'm going to click it on all the way. Oh man, that's a little freaky. How on God's earth is that so damn long? 'Cause that's probably going to hit. Maybe? Maybe not. I don't think it will. I think I worked this out before, and it seems like it's going to hit, but it's not actually going to hit. Yeah, it doesn't actually hit. It's very close. It seems like it will, but you got to keep in mind this thing is going to end up like another 1/16 of an inch off. It's really, really close. It's not ideal, but it will function. I probably get out of there. I think we're going to be all right. And I probably have enough little wiggle room that if I loosen those things up, I can probably... No, I can't. Who am I trying to fucking kid? Because, you know, why would I make anything easy for my freaking self? There it goes. All right, finally. All right, there's that one. There's that one. All right, you guys, I think I've had enough frustration and headache for the night. I didn't bring nearly enough beer for this. I wish I could say it goes good every time, but it doesn't always go good every time. We got like 9/10 of it, I guess. I am going to have to figure out how to do this. I am still going to make it so that... I don't know what the fuck got dirty, but I am going to do this so that it's still modular. So obviously all these connectors will still be part of the whole kit and caboodle. It's just instead of trying to make it all tuck back against this, it's going to have to come out from the front. It's not going to look as good that way, but it's the only way, unfortunately, that we're going to be able to pull that off. So that is semi-unfortunate. I'm not sure. It's not really going to affect me too much. Again, this thing is going to come back like a 1/16 of an inch, but more or less what'll happen is this wire here, ow, got me right in the freaking soft spot. Those two will come out of there, and then they'll just end up having to kind of tuck back down like that or something. Like I'll just end up tucking them down in a different orientation. But I'm gonna have to redo these and make them longer because they still have to get to this one here, which I did not. That's the female, I think. Did I do that right? That's the one that goes to it. We didn't do the top half of the connection yet because we need to figure out how we're going to go into that. So that's going to be for another day, unfortunately. So we spent 3 hours watching me fight with wire. We spent 3 hours watching me, listening to me yip yap about stupid shit. But we have actually kind of really tackled probably the single hardest part of this whole build. And why the reason I say the hardest part of the whole build is because this is the area where all the complicated crap goes on. And getting this connector here figured out for the power transformer, etc. Like all those things are pretty important. And how the interconnection from them is kind of not super complicated, but they're complicated. I treasure those. Right? You can buy them in mass. I mean, that bag of connectors wasn't exorbitantly expensive. I want to say maybe it was, I don't know, maybe 10 or 15 bucks. I don't even want to go through the invoices to figure it out, but they're not exorbitantly expensive. Now, do keep in mind, it's not exactly the freaking best of the best shit either. But I wanted to go with these because I kind of feel like this is the most like factory looking way, I guess, if you were gonna say it. I'd rather it be the integrated stuff, so it's not actually a boot, but so it's actually like integrated, the red plastic, the blue ones, and I think those technically look better. But this is the same shit that they use on 99.99% of the amps out there, and it's just, in order to keep it modular and do it the way that it should be done, that's the only way that I could see to do it. When you start hard soldering all those parts in there, I know that most of the companies out there and most of the boutique guys are doing it, but just because everyone else is doing it doesn't mean it's right. It should not be hardwired. You're not supposed to solder these connections on these things. These are supposed to be removable connections. Just so you know, these are supposed to be removable connections. So when you start seeing like these boutique companies that have them soldered on, it just means that they're not following code. And, if something ever goes wrong, and things invariably always do go wrong, now you've really got some work to do, because now you got to unsolder the wire instead of just pull a connector off. The American hard plastic style. Yeah. Well, I don't know. So I like the look of these. I think they look fine. It's just, you never see them over the entirety of the thing, right? I like the ones that are the heat shrink style ones. Those ones are great. And I have some of those too. Here's one here actually. So this is the spade connector right? And that's like the butt end. So that's what I would normally use for the little light modules that I got. These are great. You heat it up, it shrinks, and it's got the glue inside too. And then when you put the other one over, you can see how far over this stuff here hangs. Well, the other one hangs over just far enough. So you really, it's, you know, kind of like, what do you call it? Shielded, if you will. Here's the other end. Yeah, here's the other end here. So the way that they do it, it's like overlapping, right? I don't know if that makes sense. But you heat shrink it, and then it sucks into that. And then, of course, if you have the fitting in there, like, it's completely covered up. That hard plastic is not my favorite. I don't mind it. The reason I do like this stuff is because it does have the glue. So when you get the wire in there, it glues to the wire. You do have to be careful with this stuff, though, because if you get it too hot, it will actually start to shrink. And all that coverage that you have on the end of the tip, that goes away, and that's not good. So there's some considerations to make, but what is nice about these is that they are kind of semi-removable. Like, you can peel them out of the way, and that is a big thing because these are technically the locking connectors. These are the good connectors in that regard. And that's what they put the hole there for on these things. The hole is so that way when these things click on, I don't know if you can see it. Let me see if I can find one that has it more readily available. It's a little bit, I need one that's like, here, I'll just pull this one off. Fuck it. Ferg it. We're pulling it off. All right, there it goes. So on here, you can kind of see it. See the little dimple there in the middle? It's actually, how do you explain it? It's like a U shape, and it's got the cup. So where they cut it out, it actually goes down, and it's actually like a clip, and it's supposed to mate with that hole there. So while it doesn't look like much on here, if you look closely on the bottom, I don't know if you can see it or not, but where that little dimple is, it's inset, right? It's actually meant to go inside of that hole there. And, you know, obviously that makes it so it isn't going to come off or out or whatever. It makes it do things it's not supposed to do, or keeps it from doing things it's not supposed to do, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So, I don't know. That's why I like trying to use the proper connectors. Some of these other ones, these ones have it. These ones have it as well. It's like that little dimple that's in the middle there. You can kind of see it. But that is meant to integrate, or whatever you want to call it, lock into that little hole there. So it's not as easy to pull off. And that's why you saw I had to either use the thing to pry it off or push the button, the little tab there to get it out. Not all of them have that, though. Is it this one? No, these ones have it too. I do a really good job of trying to make sure I get all the parts that have that little tab that I was talking about. But even this side here has the freaking little locking mechanism for it. But there are some spades that don't have it. But if you really look close, all of them kind of come with that little thing like that. So anyway, even these little ones here. So these are the ones here for the small side. Right. In either case, I'm tired. I'm frustrated. I'm angry. Disappointed, I guess. I might be able to salvage this instead of having it as long as it was. So it's over here further. Maybe after I cut those, it'll be just a little bit further back. I think we'll be okay, perhaps. I'm going to try to cut just as little of this as I can off so I can try to... Well, no, it's still not going to work because I got to go out anyway. I don't know. I'm boned either way. Luke does not get to win for this thing. Part of me wants to work it out now and just be over with it. The other part of me is just like, Luke, make it easier on yourself and cut this wire here on this guy a little bit shorter because it's coming in from here. Okay. So this is that part's going to either go out. I want it to go out that way, not in this way. So objectively, I would have this go over to here, right? So that connection is down there. But then that means I got to figure out how to get these wires up and out over the top of everything here, like something like that, right? right? They'd have to come out, over, and back in. But there's all kinds of components and stuff in here, and I just don't want to go over the top and down. So the other thing I could do to make my life easy is just have them shoot out over the top and then just connect kind of down here somewhere. Like, I could do that. I have another one here that's got to go in, of course, but you kind of get what I mean. It's like just shoot over the top and like have it just connect. Or I don't know, I could go even something like that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. There's so many different ways. Those things I got to figure out. That's the homework that I try to do. But as you can see, I'm not Swami. I am not Swami, which means I don't see the future far enough to know what kind of hell I'm about to put myself through. So, in any case, that being said, I did get the important thing kind of figured out. This is one thing that I definitely wanted to get figured out. I wanted to get the PEM figured out. I wanted to get the fuse figured out. We have the fuse, the PEM, and the power switch kind of figured out for the most part. So the only thing that's left is this gall darn voltage switcher and this guy here with the lighting module. Tomorrow I will probably get into that. Yeah. No, that's true. You're right, Lone Dog. But that's also the embarrassing part. So I guess you guys are kind of, like I say, watching the R&D aspect of this thing, like literally in real time. There was some amount of that I knew was going to happen. So I was anticipating that I was going to have days like this, and there's always days like this. But, obviously we try to minimize that kind of crap as much as we can. It's ideal anyway, if we can, because I don't like making a fool of myself any more than the next guy, but I'm willing to do it. I'll say that much. So we've gone 4 freaking hours. It's an hour longer than I was hoping. We got some stuff done, even though we're kind of back to square one at the moment, but we've got some connections made. So I'm going to call it a night, everybody. I just want to thank you so much for all your time and your support and your energy. We'll see you on the next one. Take care. Hold on, I got to hit a special button over here. Goodbye.